You'll never guess what I'm eating. Well, hello, human beings. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to Gabbing Games for June 10th. I'll tell you something. I apologize about the slight delay in starting on time. You have to understand, even though, yes, of course, we have been diving deep into all of the shows and whatnot. There you guys are. The thing with it is that what has come with that, at least if you game on PC like I do as well as consoles, is a cavalcade, a cornucopia, a bevy of demos that I have been up very, very late playing because there's just so much to play. Everything from little tiny A games all the way up to, Flintlock, which is, I wouldn't say it's AAA, but that'll be on Game Pass next month. It's kind of like a Souls game. That's out in a demo form. There's just so much to play and keep up with that I've been staying up way later than I usually do. And so that's why I'm a little bit late today. I apologize for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed E3 2.0 2024. Someone needs a better name for it than that, but I ain't the one to come up with it. I'm off the clock, boys and ladies. This is the show, Gabbing Games, where you can call in at various times. The actual link is pinned. You use your phone, your computer, or whatever, your phone, mobile phone to call in. Be on camera, don't be on camera. Share your thoughts, debate, discuss. I'll bring you in at the appropriate time. If you're on Twitch or Twitter and you're watching and you want the link, just let me know and I'll pop it up from time to time. But it's nice to see everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, spending some time with me. There's a great deal to talk about as it relates to all the announcements that we got in the last couple of days. Am I excited for Volgar the Viking 2? You goddamn right. I'm excited for Volgar the Viking 2. Yes, I hope to have the creator on the show. I talked to him recently, and he said, yeah, he would come on. So I would love to talk to him about his experiences making the first game, which is one of my favorites in that genre, and also the new one. Let me bring in Kenny B real fast, because it looks like he might be driving a car, and I don't want him to hurt himself. And after that, I want to show you what I'm eating. And then we'll get on with the show. Oh, no, Kenny B's avatar is driving a car. I don't know where he is. What's up, Kenny B? It's Jaffe. How you doing, bud?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. what's going on with you? How'd you like E3 2.0? Blah blah blah.
I found it. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
By the way,
An echo? Yeah. Let me fix it. Boom. Okay, it's fixed now.
Okay. Okay. Great. Much better. Much better.
Yeah. So you enjoyed
man,
it.
I thought it was. Oh yeah, it was great. It was great.
What was the top? What was the top two things you saw that you're most excited about?
Fable and South of Midnight looks great as well. So many titles. Oh, South of Midnight, Fable, Gears of War. And one thing I want to touch on specifically, and I know you've had this conversation many, many times, right? On the whole elementary back and forth with PlayStation versus Xbox, which was better. I think now we could lay to rest that for the past couple of years, Microsoft came out and said, "Hey, listen, we know I won't even say fumbled the ball, right? Because like
they didn't even. You got to have the ball to fumble it. I don't even think they knew where the field was.
Right. Because I mean, it's safe to say that during the 360 days, they had a slew of titles, right?
Oh yeah.
I think Spencer said they had 4. It was Halo, Gears, Fable,
Forza.
and Morza. So they've always had their thing. Of course, PlayStation came dominated, but now suffice to say, it's after that showcase, which I thought it was a 10. It was amazing. It was just back to back titles out. Even for me, I was just like, okay, I need to get an Xbox because the last time I had one was during the 360 era. And
what do you have right now that you play games on at your house at home?
PlayStation 5 is my primary console.
Okay, so it's not like you can play it on Game Pass on PC. So okay, gotcha.
Right,
okay.
Right. My primary console is the PS5. So
let me ask you this question: Do you have good streaming where you are? Like, could you stream games? Have you tested that out?
I have. I mean, yeah, I live in Brooklyn, New York, so yeah, obviously we have access to that. But I have my PC.
Then stream to your PC, man. Get GeForce Now.
And I'm happy you brought that up because I have this PC here, and I tested out the Game Pass just to see what's going on. But this is exactly what I'm trying to say is that after this showcase, to all the naysayers, like, just be quiet.
Well,
be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it would, but yeah, regardless of how you play them, yeah, this was the best showcase they've had certainly since the 360 days. For me, more.
Right. I agree.
I think it's important to keep things in perspective in that nothing that they showed, and I loved the conference, and I am a fan of PlayStation and Xbox and all of the services and whatnot, but I love what they showed. I hope to God they've turned a corner. We know the games that they showed from companies like Machine Games or the guys at id. They know how to make good enough, if to brilliant games, depending on sort of all the shit that happens between green light and ship. You never really know what's going to come out the pipe, but they know how to, at the worst case, make some really good, solid games, and maybe they're making some classics. But I will say, everything they showed, and this is Sony too, this is the state of AAA, everything they showed mechanically it looks super fun, and I want to be there and I can't wait to play it all. But, even Indiana Jones, if you looked at Indiana Jones, and I'm a huge indie fan, if you strip out the license of Indiana Jones, which really all that work, I said to somebody earlier today, that was all Spielberg doing the heavy lifting back in the 80s. It's really a solid, fun game from a great developer, but it's not that, it's just a guy punching people with a whip, and some puzzles, right?
The license is what
right.
Bring the players in, of course.
And South of Midnight as well. I mean, South of Midnight, the cutscenes I thought were beautiful and very cool, and I'm very interested in the world, and the graphics are amazing, but the gameplay is like, nothing wrong with it, but like when you look at the combat, if you really look at the combat, it's like, it
looks elementary, yeah.
Does. but that doesn't mean it's not going to be my favorite game of the year. So I just think I always wish people, when they talked about games, there really was a divide, a clear divide, that we can enjoy the visuals and the production value and the IP, but that doesn't necessarily mean the game's going to be good. But it might. But what they showed, by the way, I just thought was I think it's more about the pedigree of the people making it that gets me excited, because what they showed just kind of looked pretty standard, but I'm still into it. Like Perfect Dark. What did you think of Perfect Dark? Billy Bones in the chat. It's like, oh, I thought Perfect Dark looked good. And I was hoping to see more gadgets and spy stuff, and it looked good, but all she did was run around. Yeah, but it's really big on the gadgets, and there weren't really any.
And it looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it visually it looked great. I agree. Fable looked great in terms of graphics, but I don't know what the fuck the game's going to be. Except Fable.
Right, I agree.
But I'm with you 100%. I thought it was a great conference. There's an article today on Push Square that we'll cover in just a little bit, all about PlayStation fans getting pissed off, going, "Hey, Herman Hulst, this is what we need." And
I'm so tired of that. I'm happy about that because I get it. Once again, it makes for good back room, water cooler talk. I get it, but this whole when I see people take it to the mat, people like we're literally going. I don't know. And I see you go after. Not always say go after, but I see the comments sometimes, or even when I'm watching, and I see you kind of pounding your head like, guys, like. It's Game Pass. Like, for example, I could not believe I'm watching these trailers, every single game, at least 90% of them, day one on Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass.
Excellent.
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm a parent, right, that has expenses. I could get all these games for like $20 a month.
Insane. How old are your kids play these kind of games that are like?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God. Then oh my God, how could you not? How could you? It's ridiculous. And Call of Duty, I mean, it's nuts, man. It's
Call of Duty day one. I was like, bro.
I think it's great. It was a great show. We're going to dive deep into it on this show, but I'm with you. And so are you? So it sounds like you're going to go pick up an Xbox then.
Yeah, I'm picking one up, man.
Which one are you going to get?
Great question. Now, considering that I have the PS5, that's a beefy system, right? I'm looking towards the S. Because I just want to have the streaming option, and I know it's 1440, I think 1444, 120 max. So I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I'm a PlayStation guy. I love their exclusives, but after what I saw, I'm like, hey, I need to delve more into this ecosystem. Like I said, the last time was the 360 days. So after what I saw, day one on Game Pass, less than $20 a month. I mean, as a consumer, I'm sold. Let's put that.
Yeah. So I will say the S, like my son has the S, I have the X. I mean, and anytime I can stream a game on the X, but I don't even turn on my console anymore. I use my PC. But anytime I can stream it, I do, because I get the better version if you're playing on S. But if you care about the graphics and you can afford it, I'd spring for the X because you're going to get a better. Oh yeah, because you're going to get.
I was about to being that you've seen both, because that's kind of been my thought. I was like, well, I'm a graphics guy, right? So I keep wondering, well, is it like how many times better is it?
I can't tell you. I go to the Digital Foundry guys for that. I can't speak to that. I can just speak to the fact that Tentative says it's a more powerful console, so it's gonna run at a steadier frame rate. You're gonna get more storage on it. I don't know whether or not the resolution is higher on it, but there's definitely a difference between the two, and it's noticeable. And if you can afford it, go with the X. Absolutely.
Well, I have a few months, because my plan is like probably for the holiday, I'll pick it up when they have all the deals and whatnot. Because once again, I have the PS5. I'm looking forward to Wukong. That's day one. Silent Hill's day one. Assassin's Creed is day one. So
it's insane.
I'm good. Like, so the Xbox is not like, oh my God, but yes, I saw what they had, and
they did a great job. If they can actually deliver, I no longer have a bounty out on Phil Spencer.
Kudos to them, man.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon. All right. There he goes, fellas. Kenny B of the boy band Kenny B and the Skaters, with a Z, of course, at the end. The Rubbish Band is the S, but they had a whole lawsuit. You remember. Anyway, I'm excited. We'll talk about it in just a second. I do want to say, I was saying, hey, can you guess what I'm eating? You know what I decided to spring for today? Because I was very curious, and I ordered McDonald's. I says, there's a new McFlurry called Grandma McFlurry. And it's a sweet ode to grandmas everywhere. Here's how they describe it. It's absolutely disgusting how they describe it, but it's delicious. It's sweet just like grandma and features a delicious syrup and chopped crunchy candy pieces, like grandma's favorite treat that she hid in her purse. That sounds so gross. But it's basically like a butterscotch McFlurry. It's just goddamn delightful. It's wonderful, and I recommend it. And if you want to see what it looks like, here's in the biz is what we call a picture. There it is, old Grandma McFlurry there. Grandma McFlurry and her, well, fuck you, I don't know. Your grandma died years ago? This is what your grandma's coffin, it tastes like your grandma's coffin probably smells like, is what I would say. But it's good stuff, it's good people anyway, that's what I was eating. Okay. Bookster, hey buddy, thank you for the super chat. He says, Gears E-Day is a fucking dream, I'm so happy. Thank you for the super chat. We are going to get into Gears in a little bit because Steven Totillo did a interview with the Gears team, and they got some pretty good information about the game, how it plays, sort of what its motivations are and stuff. There's some really good data that I haven't seen anywhere else that is in Totillo's subscriber-only newsletter. So I will be going over that with you guys today. But let us begin. Let us begin with Ubisoft, because Ubisoft was, when I finished watching Ubisoft Forward today, and I'll put it on in the background as we chat without any audio, I walked away from this just being like, oh my God, this is what a great conference. And it remains so. It's still a great conference, but Star Wars looked fantastic. It looked like a lot of fun. They had a lot of great updates for The Crew, which I think is great. Prince of Persia, X Defiant, which I've been playing, which I like. And then Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows looks just great as well. Really, really good. Really, really fun. I like the fact that there are missions like it. I still don't quite understand. I know that there are points in the game, like at the beginning, you start playing as the samurai, and then once he completes something, you get a choice to split between, like, it's like, oh, let's go kill this guy. And they talk, and it's like, okay, who do you want to be on that mission? So you can kind of switch between them and go. And so the missions can be played by either, and they play so differently, which is cool. I don't think that once you're in a mission, you can just swap because they're not kind of there. But it's very, very cool. It's got lots of shades of Tenchu. People who have been wanting Tenchu, there's a lot of that flavor in there. And the samurai stuff feels really fucking good too. So I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a great show to the point that when I was done watching it, I was like, you know what? I think if Xbox delivers what they're claiming on their show, and that's a big if, they have a terrible track record. I'm not like, oh, it's forgiven. No, it's like you guys have been down this road before. I was excited for Redfall after the last time they went on stage with Pete Hines and he talked it up, and I was like, I can't wait. And it was not terrible for me, but it's like, no thanks. So the jury will be out till the jury's in, and it ain't going to be till these games ship. But that said, though, I thought Xbox, if they can deliver, Sony's is going to be in a rough position. And I know a lot of people were disagreeing with me, but I don't think they were really using their brain pans. I think they were just letting their fanboy emotions get in the way. But we can talk about that. You can call in, disagree, debate, discuss your thoughts on that. But here's my point. When I finished watching the Xbox thing, I'm like, okay, Sony needs to figure out what a counterpunch is going to be here. And after watching this, I'm like, they need to fucking find some ducats, and they need to buy Ubisoft, frankly, because Ubisoft has exactly what they need. There's more variety. They need more big developers. They need more developers that have this kind of mainstream shit down. They would own X Defiant, which would allow them to get a jump on the 10 years they need to make their own Call of Duty. And they would still have all the stuff, and I don't know how much this would cost. I know that there was a time when Universal was trying to buy these guys. People have been trying to buy this company on and off for a while. I don't see that. Kevin said, not Kevin, Cheeseworks says Sony doesn't have the money. It doesn't necessarily work that way, though. Sony was about to purchase Paramount. Was it Paramount? Yeah. Paramount recently, and it wasn't that those guys by themselves were going to buy it. Sony was going to team up with this other division. I forget who they were, another company, and they were going to basically buy it together. So I think certainly there's going to have to be some creative accounting, some big fucking loans, blah, blah, blah. But I think if these guys want to stay in the game in a meaningful way, I think they're going to need to expand because, look, if Xbox can deliver, they have stepped into they've stepped up to a level of ambition and scale that PlayStation just doesn't compete with. I've said before, I mean, and a lot of people have said before, this is nothing clever, because at least for me, because I'm just parroting what I've heard, but it makes a lot of sense that this is Microsoft going, we want to be a big entertainment company, the likes of Tencent, the likes of Apple, the likes of Amazon. That's what that showcase felt like. And if you compare that to what Sony's showcase was, which was fine, it wasn't a show. People are like, it was a state of play. It wasn't a show. Whatever. The point is, whatever you want to call it, they put it in proximity of all these announcements. You're going to compare it. Sorry, that's how it works. Theirs felt like yesterday's news. No one's thinking about Concord at this point, right? They're just not. They need to step it up. And people are saying, like even in the chat, they're saying it doesn't make a lot of sense because all those games you're talking about, Jaffe, are coming to, or most of them, probably all of them, are coming to Xbox and to Sony. I stand by this take, and won't know if it's, none of us will know if it's going to be accurate or not until it pans out. But my take is that the best thing they could do is put their games on other hardware and sell them versus renting them on Game Pass. Because it's like, okay, you can, because imagine what you're basically saying then. You can buy this machine where you can buy your games or rent them, or just Game Pass if you have a PC and you stream or whatever. Or you can, buy a console and then you got to buy every single game you want to play as well. It's a hard sell in my mind. Now I understand a lot of people who watch shows like this are like, no, I like to own my thing, and I get it. I respect that, but I don't think that is most people. The guy who just called in, he's like, oh, this is a great deal. I have kids who game. I game. I don't think he's going around going, no, I need my pristine edition of this, that, and the other. He's just kind of going, I just want entertainment for my money, and this is a better deal, and it is. I want to say, first off, thank you real quick. I'll go to the chat real quick. I want to say thanks to Marco, who dropped a super sticker. Thank you, buddy. It's very kind, very courteous, very generous. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. And then... so I'm looking at you guys commenting in the chat. Great showcase, says Kevin, but Xbox is known to do stupid shit. 100%. 100%. Those guys are absolutely not forgiven until they're forgiven. And right now, it's, the proof will be in the pudding. It's funny how these kids in chat act like they know Xbox is going away soon, says RN4L. I don't think Xbox is going anywhere. I think Game Pass is in it for the long term. And consoles will eventually go away, but right now clearly there's still money to be made there. But no, I think you can still be a fan of Sony and go, they really need to step some shit up. The only games I'm excited for right now are South of Midnight, Perfect Dark, and Star Wars Outlaws. Well, we'll talk about Star Wars just a little bit. Eddie T says, wouldn't normies have already flocked to Game Pass if this was the case? It's been around since Xbox One, and they've had to fluff the numbers. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't tell you how people will respond when the meal is set out before them. What I will say, though, is so far, if you look at Xbox Game Pass, they haven't had a lot of commercial bangers that are also really good, right? You can easily argue that Starfield is a commercial banger conceptually, but it's not to a lot of people really good. It is to me, but not to a lot of people. So I think until you get, now you're going to have, though, Call of Duty, Indiana Jones, Avowed, if it works, Doom, which looks amazing. I mean, it doesn't even look amazing. It looks like Doom Eternal, which was fucking amazing, right? So the minute, what I'll say to you, Eddie T, is the minute that that was out, the minute that those are out, then I think we can judge it. But I don't think we can judge it yet. The Starfield DLC looked boring, says Kevin. I agree, by the way. One of the things that I love the most about Starfield was kind of its Star Trekian positivity and exploration of big questions and stuff. And and I'm not saying that won't be in there, but the trailer just kind of made it look like there's an evil rising, and it's just like very, very tropey, and it kind of feels almost like it's walking away from its more philosophical leanings and becoming more of a just like bad guys in space. And I'm like, New Doom looks like Quake, but they weren't allowed to make it Quake. I mean, sure, I'm not really in it for the lore, but they didn't show any gameplay, if I remember correctly. But I'm excited. I'm excited. All the new games shown in day one announced showcase equals 2,500 or $20 for a month. Incredible value, says Ninja Square. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the fucking thing. But I will say, I downloaded the latest update for Starfield, and it was pretty cool to be able, even on the console, to get the mods people are making. You can't get them all. They have to be curated, obviously. It's not like just going onto Steam, whatever it's called, Workshop or whatever. But it was cool. Like I downloaded a jetpack that somebody had made, and it was suddenly, it was a much better jetpack that flew me further and faster. And it's weird because the minute it's so seamlessly integrated, unlike a lot of times where if you want to mod Minecraft, at least back in the day, it was like, okay, I got to get this file and I got to figure out where to put it. And you just go to the menu from the main menu of Starfield and say, I want that. It downloads, it tells you how to activate it in the game world, and you're off to the races. It is weird, though, because it suddenly starts totally changing up the vision of the game. Because, whether you love or hate the slow travel on planets, I hate it. That's the vision of the artist right now. And it's kind of weird that they're just like, whatever you want, change it up if you want to. But still, I like that part about it. I like that part about it. Vitaphone says, Jaffe, look at what happened to physical music in the movie market. It's a niche thing now. That's the future of games. 100%. There's no doubt. Tentative over on the what is that? That's the Twitch. Says, console's going away. Do you mean you prefer cloud gaming? I do. I absolutely prefer cloud gaming. Whenever I can get cloud gaming on GeForce Now, that is my go-to. I'm always looking there first, and I'm very happy that Game Pass is on it, PC Game Pass, as is the Ubisoft games. So I'll be playing, like I played Avatar, which I did not like, but I rented it for Ubisoft Plus for a month. I rented the whole service for a month, and I played it at the highest level with all the bells and whistles, and it's fucking gorgeous. Just goddamn gorgeous. But wasn't a very good game. There are no issues with input latency if you live close enough to a server farm and you have decent internet. My internet is, as I've said this before, my internet is download like 530, which is good, but it's even commercial internet is faster. Like my ex, who lives about a block away, hers is like 750 and her Wi-Fi is 600. And I don't notice any latency at all, or lag or anything. It's brilliant. It looks beautiful. This showcase, they didn't even say exclusive. No, but and Phil Spencer, I'm sure you guys saw this. If you didn't, I'll play the clip for you real quick. This was him over at IGN Live, which was also going on during all the hullabaloo. And he said this regarding that. Here you go. He's talking to, I think it was Ryan McCafferty. Is that his name? So yeah, it's not about. Yeah, it was recorded a few hours before. It's not about exclusivity anymore for those guys, and why should it be? I mean, it's just the exclusivity is on Game Pass, I suppose. But yeah, it's again, the exclusivity is I can get it for $15. Oh, you couldn't hear the guy. Sorry, fellas. Let me play it again. Here you go. My bad.
Our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on other screens. And you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. And we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building. And we see that from players, and the players love to be able to play. Well,
so there you go. I was I think their big play is, you can rent it for $15 along with a bunch of other great games, or you can buy it. But here's what you have to understand. If you're in the chat and I see a bunch of you guys pushing back on the whole, but Xbox hasn't, it's like, just stop. Okay. Because here's the deal. The man you're looking at on your screen, not the real man, that's me, but the guy you're looking at right now who's got the bigger image, which is Phil Spencer there. The guy is not delivered. You don't need to remind us what a shit show his ability or inability to manage his teams has been, right? And maybe there's been behind the scenes shit, and maybe that shit has been cleared up, and that's what we're seeing. Or maybe this is just smoke and mirrors, and when the games come out like Redfall, it's gonna be crap. Maybe, absolutely, you're right to be skeptical. But all of this is built, all of these good emotions are built, at least mine, on the back of the idea that the games have to deliver. And if they don't, they're right back to where they were, even worse. But if they can actually pull it off, then there's nothing you can complain about. I mean, they're making what look like really fun AAA commercial games. And they've got some really great ways that a lot of gamers can get them. At that point, the only thing you're really upset about is some kind of weird, childish, well past your prime that you should be caring about, which is my system does it and it's not exclusive. And shut up. What are you, fucking 5? Blackjack says Matt Booty still needs to go, Jaffe. He might. Again, like I'm saying, I don't forgive anything until the proof comes into the pudding. What I'm saying, though, is that if the story that gets told at the end is Matt and Phil have been great, and the problem has been these 3 people that they had to get out of the business, or they couldn't fire, or what, there's all kinds of things that happen in business, and your businesses as well, at your jobs as well, that the customer doesn't know about. Why are the French fries not as good at McDonald's this week? Oh, well, you see, Sally was the one that really made them well, and she had an affair with Roger, who was running the drive-thru. I mean, there's all kinds of shit that happens. But assuming they don't deliver, then yeah, fuck them. But every Xbox game will play better on PS5 Pro. That's embarrassing. No, it's not. Eddie T, I love you, but no, it's not. It's embarrassing for who? Maybe the guys at Digital Foundry and the people who live and die by their opinions, but I assure you, look, my son has an Xbox Series S, and it's the worst of the Xboxes in terms of performance. He's playing it almost every night with his buddies playing Fortnite. Although now he's playing it on the cloud because he likes playing it on his laptop better. But nobody cares. Most people don't care. They just want to have fun and be entertained. Goat, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jaffe, is it true you and Cliffy B have a rivalry over who made more money from games? Supposedly you were bragging and he caught wind. Now there's beef. You're just making shit up. No, I have no beefs with Cliff Bleszinski over anything. But certainly I have no beef with him over that because he made a lot more money than I did. That guy, got a hell of a deal. I mean, he deserved it. He's a very talented guy, made a lot of money for Epic. But when he left Epic, he cashed out and made a shit ton of money, way more money than I ever made. No. I mean, he flies on private jets and stuff. That's not me. Serve says, do you really care if one version has 100 more blades of grass in the field? I mean, some people do. Like, if you're a tech head, I can respect that. But that's not, most gamers don't give a goddamn fuck. They just want to have a good time, play with their friends, low barrier of entry. That's it. Okay. Cliffy made about 18 million. Oh yeah. No, I didn't make no 8. I didn't come close to 18 million. Are you kidding me? No fucking way. Okay. Even Sony is putting their first party IP on Switch. Yeah, I mean, that's true, Carlos. That was weird. I'm not complaining about it. If you got a Switch, you want to play the Horizon, go enjoy that shit. I think it is weird that they're coming out day and date on Switch and PC when not a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Herman Hulst was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. We're only going to do our service games day and date. And Horizon Lego ain't no goddamn service game. But whatever. I mean, it's great. It's great. Enjoy that shit. Kevin says PlayStation seeing its highest sales with exclusives. I mean, PlayStation is, I said this on, I went on to Tim Dog's Twitter chat today. And I said to him, it's like, this is what it seems like to me. PlayStation is currently ruling the roost. It's not like I'm like, what do you mean they're number one? It's like people are kind of like going, no, you understand, Jaffe, Xbox is number 3. You're looking at a scenario that is played out based on the past. You can't, but if you think because you're number one today, all you have to do is keep doing the same thing, even as the world, or especially as the world around you changes. The technology changes, the consumer changes, and you'll be number one tomorrow. You're very mistaken. And there's a whole graveyard of failed products and failed companies that can give you specific evidence of when they did that. So I said to Tim today, to me, it feels like Sony is still trying to make and perfect record players, right? Whereas Microsoft is going, record players, we're working on Spotify, right? That's just the way it is. And it doesn't mean that, Sony's not, blind to this. They have PS Plus. They've moved on to PC. They're slowly getting there. But these guys are, Sony has historically been, a conservative Japanese company that is led by people that are not living on the internet and living in the zeitgeist. They're like, we made the PlayStation, it works, and let's keep doing that till the wheels come off the car. And they're not planning for the future, but end of the day, just because they're ahead today, look at the number of games they have coming out. It's not a lot. Kids don't want Game Pass, says Gun, just Fortnite. Most kids only, depends who you're talking about, but there are the kind of gamer kids we were that lived and breathed this shit. That I don't see that in kids. I don't see it in Gen Z. I don't see it in Gen Alpha. I'm not saying there aren't kids that enjoy it at that age, but most of the kids, they're, it's social. They're playing the Roblox and all that shit. We talked about that. Xbox is Blockbuster of Netflix's. Sony is Netflix of Blockbusters. What? That doesn't even make sense, Darth Nugget. But okay. Okay. Let's move on though, because there's a lot to talk about. Let's talk about Game Pass is on mobile, Game Pass is on everything. If you have a phone, or a tablet, or a PC, or a smart TV, or an actual Xbox piece of hardware, down to an Xbox One, I think, you can get Game Pass. Conservatively, they consummate market leader in every aspect. We know, Crisis Core. I don't know what is SMDH means, so much damn hate, or shaking my damn head. No one is walking around unaware that Sony is the king of the hill right now. But I mean, would you like to talk about Nintendo going from the Wii to the Wii U, or going from the GameCube or going from the N64 to the GameCube and then realizing they needed to shake shit up. I mean, yeah, you know, I don't mean this condescendingly, but take a business class or something, or just watch a YouTube video. It's like, if all you had to do to stay number one is keep doing what you've been doing, then nobody would ever not be number one after they became number one. You'd always just stay there. That's kind of the fun of it. I did hear that, Bad Robo. Bad Robo says, did you hear that Horizon will be released on Nintendo Switch and not on the PS4? Yeah, which is goofy. I don't even get that. I don't even understand that, because the PS4, especially for a game like that, is does so fucking well with families and stuff. I cannot understand why that it's not on there. Has anybody heard, or have they given a reason why that it would be on PS5 and Switch and PC but not PS4? Jaffe, hey Yorch, I hope you're doing great. I am. Where's Tony? Are you getting calls later? Who's Tony? Where's Tony? I don't know who that is, George. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing calls now. The link is up in the up on top of YouTube, and if you're watching from somewhere else, you can call in using this particular. There you go. There you go. You can use that link. Okay. Tony the Tiger? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about. Tony Barnes? Yeah, which who you talking about, baby? I don't know. Tony Clifton. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, if P Turtle was my Tony Clifton, again, you'd never hear me and P Turtle on at the same time, because that's not how Tony Clifton worked. Let's talk about Star Wars real quick. So Star Wars started out today making me pretty fucking happy, right? Which is here's a little bit of the trailer while we're talking. I was very excited to see this in the Ubisoft conference today. Hang on. And it looked really good. And as much as I love Starfield, it looked like what Starfield, if it was being done with a new engine and stuff, or modern engine, would have been. It felt seamless, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And I'm kind of bummed because I've read two pretty scathing hands-on previews. They all seem to be mirroring what IGN said, or a lot of them, most of them seem to be mirroring what IGN said and what Eurogamer said, which was basically it delivers the Star Wars fantasy that we've all had with an open world Star Wars game. It's not seamless, but it's more seamless than anything except No Man's Sky when it comes to getting in a ship and going to a planet and getting in another ship and blah, blah, blah. But they say the actual gameplay so far is really antiquated and dated, and just kind of it just kind of sits there, right? Let me pull the article over here, and I'll read you some of the choice bits while this is playing. It says, well, Kyle, it's interesting because it's not. Kyle says, "Oh, okay, so the gameplay is very Ubisoft." Well, that kind of, but no, because this is what I thought was really telling. Eurogamer says this. This is written by Chris Tapsel. He says the Ubisoft formula for open worlds and their icon-littered maps has become tired to the point of parody, but there's a lovable simplicity to it as well. The old cliche of certain games being fast food returning again. Sometimes I want a burger, and if you stamp a little Star Wars Republic logo on it, my simple-minded inner child is still just about alive enough to crack a smile. A bit more simplicity. I'm not proud of it, but I do quite fancy the idea of a big, busy, work-filled map of Star Wars activities, which is probably why EA's games, blah, blah, blah. So he makes a concession for that. He says, yeah, I get if this is just another Ubisoft Star Wars game. Hang on one sec, guys. Yeah.
Did you feed Ace?
Not tonight. Thanks, baby. If this is just another, Far Cry, but with Star Wars, he's like, I'm good with that. I can live with that. But he says it's not that. He says Outlaws' early gameplay, and this is a game that comes out in 2 months, so it ain't that early, feels positively ancient, not only mechanically, but in execution, in its near lack of total character, flair, invention, detail, or style. Now, I didn't agree with his comparison here, but I'll let you, do with it what you will, because I like the game he's about to cite. He says, in trying to describe it, the closest comparison I can draw is Uncharted Golden Abyss, which launched in 2011 on the PS Vita. I'm not entirely sure what that means, because I liked that game. I don't know if he's saying that the game plays like a game from 2011, or it feels like not, if Far Cry 6 or 5 is Uncharted 3, then this Star Wars is Uncharted Golden Abyss. I'm not entirely sure what he means, but, so he says it's cool when he talks about in the demo he played going from environmental platforming to stealth to space combat. He says the breadth of those three gameplay elements and the almost seamless transition between them in part is what makes Star Wars Outlaws so exciting, but it's also likely at the heart of its potential problems. The setup, and then he just goes into details, but it all just sounds, been there, done that. And even though you've been there, done that, it's not as executed as well as you would expect from a game like this. He says there's a brief walk into a local town where it doesn't appear to be possible to interact with any of the handful of shops and stalls. Last and probably least was the dogfighting mission. After a basic escape via Wordle-like hacking minigame and unnecessary stealth, there's a short gunfight with infinitely spawning enemies until your ship is ready to take off. Then another nice, almost seamless transition. These are really the highlights, a kind of disguised cutscene that's not as fully seamless as No Man's Sky. And you're out into open space. But then he goes in to describe, he says it's not very good. He says, the final thing he says, overall, Star Wars Outlaws is a game that is intentionally aiming for a mechanical light touch, which is fine. There's room for games that are more approachable and set themselves up for broad appeal, and it's fitting for Star Wars' family audience. But in Outlaws' case, it feels like a clear step beyond approachable and into bland. Come back to Jedi, the EA game, the inevitable comparison given the similarities, it's a painful contrast. Even down to the finer points of level of detail and attention feel light years apart. So this is Eurogamer, and I won't read you IGNs, you can find it yourself, but IGN pretty much said the same thing. And you got it. I mean, these are usually not Eurogamer, but IGN usually is they'll put a little bit of a rose on it, on a rose smell on the shit. They'll kind of go, well, it's still early. They got a lot of time to turn things around, blah, blah, blah. And again, they're not haters. Kevin says, fuck these haters. The game looks tight. The game does look tight, but it also, when you got two totally disparate, outlets saying kind of the same thing, and it's not a review, it's a preview. It's something to know, something to be aware of. I mean, I'm not going to play it, but journalists play a gazillion games per week, so of course everything's going to be boring, says Kevin. I mean, there is that opinion was not very well articulated. The Eurogamer guy or Kevin's? But no, I will tell you that I'll still play it on Ubisoft Plus, but I'm going to wait for the reviews to see if I want to, but I don't think there's anything bad about it. I just think it looks like it's going to be, if you are to believe those comments, it maybe it's just kind of like, if it wasn't for the Star Wars brand, you'd go, eh. And yeah, I've played the Jedi games. They're great. Eurogamer guy doesn't, well, I didn't read you everything. One of the things I hate most about certain game streams is when the host, which is me, sits there and just reads to you. I mean, I can, so I made sure to kind of, here, let me see if I have them. If you want to see, I mean, that's Marvel Snap here. Right. I mean, so yeah, you can look at it and go, he got specifically. So, I'll just read you this. There's a setup. He's talking about the stealth part. He says, you're exploring an old abandoned structure of some kind. Picture old abandoned Star Wars structure and you've got it. Big gray metal walls, some jagged edges, and Star Wars' staple of the unexplained cavernous drop. This general setup is they need to power up an old reactor to escape. So you're off through a note-perfect checklist of AAA action-adventure staples. You'll climb yellow ledges. You'll press the button to throw a grapple hook when you see the throw grapple hook prompt. You'll quickly turn left to check a little nook before following the main path to the right. And in that nook, you'll find a chest with some crafting resources or cash. You'll stop for less than 3 seconds wondering where to climb and then see a gigantic chevron arrows painted on the wall next to the only ledge that isn't yellow. Then you'll jump towards a platform that half collapses when you land on it, turning it into a slide, which you'll jump off and onto your speeder bike and hurtle away. I mean, he gets very specific, but you know, I didn't want to just read an article to you, but he goes into all the details about why the space combat is. He's like, you barely have to touch the button to do anything. But again, nothing's wrong with it if you're looking for that kind of game. You have more than one. Pap says, I dislike that you only have one gun. Yeah, but you can pick up other people's guns. But sure. I mean, and I don't think he's hating on it. He's you know, trust me. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it on the goddamn Ubisoft Plus, blah, blah, blah. What do I care? We'll see what happens. I'll let you know what I think. But I will say the Assassin's Creed people who got to play it or watch it behind the scenes beyond what they showed, they said that was actually quite good. They said that was really, really good. So, you know, yeah, Kevin says, I'm sure the game will be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. And that may be all it is, but you know, I don't want to spend $70 on just fine, but I hear you. Let's jump to a little bit of PlayStation news. PS fans beg Sony for a more fulfilling live stream. The only reason I bring this up, you know, I mean, you know, somebody in the chat, inevitably they said, like I said they would. Sony didn't do a showcase. It was a state of play. The assumption that your average person knows the difference, is laughable, but fine, whatever. The bigger point though, is that if you compare the two, which people were inevitably going to do, Sony's looked positively uninteresting compared to Xbox's. Now, knowing Sony's pedigree and history, their games will probably be better unless we get surprised by Phil and the booty. And hopefully we will. But if we're not, it wouldn't surprise me if, end of the day, Astrobot and Concord are a hell of a lot more fun to play than any of the Xbox first-party stuff, just because that's been what we've been conditioned to. But here's the thing I wanted to read you, though. Sony in the past was criticized heavily for revealing games too early in development. And that is this author, Sammy Barker, of the Alaskan Barkers. They're weird, that family. They have these oversized feet, and they can't find shoes, so they wrap them in like toilet paper and newspaper. But as newspapers have become less of a thing, their feet have kind of taken to frostbite. So they walk around with toilet paper and blue toes, and it's freakish. I don't like them because of that. It doesn't matter. The point is, this idea that games were criticized. When did this come? Where did this come from? That people are like, I don't like it when they reveal games too early. Why not? What the fuck is wrong with knowing, hey, we're working on this. We'll let you know it'll be out in 3 years or whatever. Isn't that part of the fun? I think, you know, if you go to Microsoft's conference, they had a bunch of stuff lined up for this year. But then they're also saying, hey, 2025, 2026, that's cool, right? So it's kind of like, we got you covered. The pipe is full. AAA, was it triple? How many A's you got? I'm just going to call you A. A, who is a programmer at PlayStation, says showing games early adds so much stress on dev teams. You're simultaneously trying to prepare the demo and working on the game. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I care for you personally as a human, but that's not my problem. You know, I mean, you are right, and you deserve to be treated well every day by your employers, and certainly in a stressful situation like that. But don't ask the customer, and maybe you're not, to give a fuck that that's stressful for the developers. That's not my problem. But I like seeing shit early. Winnipeg says 3 years from the announcement, but delays or bad development issues. Eidos Montreal is helping make Perfect Dark. I hope it's amazing. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. But I still don't mind hearing about something well before it's done. I think that's kind of part of the fun. As long as they've got something in the oven that's coming soon, Look at this though. $40. $40 for Concord. I had forgotten about Concord. That's how unimpressive that show was. And how impressive Xbox's was. $40 for multiplayer only. They're giving you 16 characters, 12 maps. Maybe it'll be great. I got nothing against it. I thought it looked fun. It looked good, but I'm just wondering, is this even on anyone's radar anymore? Think about that. It'll be fine if the game comes out and it's a blast. I don't agree with that, PG. PG says Concord looks like shit. I do not agree with that. I don't think that's accurate. I think it looks fun. I think it looks well made. It looks like there's some cool mechanics in it. I don't mean the IP. The IP looks generic as shit. But moment to moment, 5v5 hero shooter, it looks fun. It looks well made. It looks much better than Marvel Rivals. Tim Duncan says that game doesn't have a chance even if it was free. See, well, there you go, right? That's what'll put a team under stress, right? Can you imagine? If you're this team, all you can do is put your head down and go, I'm going to stay focused. We're going to stay focused on the vision that we have believed in for the last couple of years, and the chip's going to fall where the chip's going to fall. Because short of that, what are you going to do? You can't change it now anyway, and you shouldn't. Maybe it's going to work just because fans don't know what they want till they see it, or till they play it. I agree, Eternal. I like that. Eternal says they're also doing a sort of friend pass system for buyers, right? Which is excellent. Excellent. I think that's exactly how they should do it. They're doing let's be clear though. My understanding is they're doing a friends pass for the beta, which I think is great, but they need to do it if I buy it. If I buy it for $40, I want 4 5-hour friend passes too. Cause it's ridiculous not to do that. Oh yeah. JJ says more people will play Marvel Rivals because of the IP and that it's free. Marvel Rivals is free to play. The beta is going to be free, but only if you pre-order Byte. You have to pre-order it. Maybe they'll let other people in. I don't know. No, it's not a free beta. I was hoping for an update on Splinter Cell, says Winnipeg. Well, I get that, but I will, and they did announce, who did they announce is coming to X Defiant? The, Siege faction, which I know is totally different. But if you did watch the Ubisoft thing on Assassin's Creed, I get that the ninja isn't Sam Fisher, but there was a lot of little gadgets and stuff that kind of made it feel like it got some good stealth going. So maybe it'll tide you over. Did I see Xbox Series consoles have sold out, says Go? No. Send me a link. I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, the Prince of Persia remake, they announced 2026. I guess they brought in another team to work with the original team that was clearly struggling with that. So cool. That's good to know. Metal Gear Solid got a date, or at least a leaked date sometime in November. Metal Gear Delta, I thought that looked great. Again, $6 says, hey, Jaffe, hope my comment on your Twitter clip made you not like me. I don't know what that is. Okay. Tell me what you said. I can't just pull it from my butthole. Metal Gear Solid Delta, though, when they showed that trailer at the Xbox show, I thought that looked great. I thought that looked really good. I've played the game before, so I love it. But visually, It looked fantastic. And it's, Unreal 5, and it's coming out in November is the leak. You can pre-order it. They haven't officially said here's the date, but they're saying it's November. Why would that make me be upset, $6? You're very disappointed, Eddie T, with the look of Metal Gear 3. Really? Oh my God, that's fascinating. Really? Let me bring that up. I thought it looked fantastic. Metal Gear 3 trailer remake. One day. Oh, here's an unseen clip. I want to see here we go. You don't think this looks good? Again, everybody has the right to their own opinion, but my goodness. Now, again, if you're a hardcore Snake Eater fan, and you're talking a level of ambiance, maybe you're talking about it at a level of nuance that I just don't have that. So you're like, oh no, it was foggier, or the ambiance made it feel more like a sinister, jungle adventure or something. Okay, I could see that. That maybe that is not present in this trailer. But that's not something I know enough about to care. Yeah, Eddie T says the color saturation is way off and the models like the boss look strange. I don't get that with the models, but I hear you on the colors. It may not be matching the original, but I still think it looks great. I think it's going to do really, really well. Now this is not exclusive. Silent Hill is exclusive, correct? But or at least day one exclusive to Sony. But I think this is for everybody, correct? But yeah, I think this looks really good. Did you see that the Silent Hill guys, I'll tell you, in another, if again, we'll see. I'm always willing to walk stuff back or apologize or say I was wrong. But so far, in another example of Bloober Team not necessarily being the right team, the original Silent Hill guys, the news came out that the original Silent Hill guys were saying we were pushing the team to do, to deviate from the original, to add stuff, to do new stuff. And they're like, and they were apparently they held the original in such reverence. And maybe it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. But the problem with that is that when you watch this trailer, as good as it looks, and what I really did like about not the trailer, but the walkthrough or the semi walkthrough that they did after the trailer, I liked the pacing of the game. They seem to have a really, if that is to be believed, they seem to have a really good blend between the Resident Evil action, Resident Evil 2 remake action, and more of the slow puzzle ambiance. You never know what's around the next corner. I like that about this trailer. But what I didn't like about the trailer, what I found disappointing about the trailer was Silent Hill 2 was such a generator of so many of the tropes that we see now in video game horror that without adding something to it and just being so reverent, you end up with something that, as much as you can appreciate the preservation, one of the things you remember if you loved Silent Hill 2 was, at least people tell me, because I never played it and finished it, was that it was really scary and unnerving and disturbing. And it's like, to get scary and unnerving and disturbing, you need novelty. You need new shit. And so I was bummed to hear that the original Silent Hill 2 team was like, okay, they don't want our ideas. They're just making the same thing. But, we'll see. I'm still going to play it day one because I am very, very curious about this. Lord Garth has been here, god damn, sir, 30 months. He says, Jaffe, listen, man, I missed the last few weeks of Gabbing and Games. What do you think of Altars? It depends. I mean, are you sacrificing someone on? I think it's a video game that you can get the demo right now on Steam, right? And I've neglected downloading it, and I don't know why. I just don't really know what it is. Isn't it just kind of like a survival? This is from a few years back. Let's see what the gameplay is. 5 days ago. Yeah, you can get the demo right now on Steam. Get me the gameplay. I want to see what I do. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what I think of it yet. Here's what I think, Yorch. I think it's one of the demos I will download and play this week, and I will get back to you. That's interesting. Sometimes when there's so much to download, there's so many fucking games that you can download and stream and shit, that it's just there's so fucking you just get kind of brain mush going. Have I played this one? What is this one? But yeah, now that I see what this is, absolutely. Bukaki's quoting Joe Biden. I never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day. Okay. Oh my God, $6. Don't be a little bitch. Anybody know the answer to my question since Jaffe's not reading it? I'm not reading it. I'm busy. I'm doing a stream, you fuck. I can't get to every comment. If you want to demand that I get to the comment, pay for it. Or just be patient. I'll get to it maybe. Anyway, here's his dumb comment. He says, Jaffe, was the woman on your live stream the other day the same person? Why are you obsessed with this woman? Leave her alone. She's probably watching right now. If she's on, she knows she can call in. I don't know. Don't worry about her. Why? She's the only woman you've seen in the last week. Relax, $6. Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. Yeah, that's what you say when you want people to back off, man. Gears of War. I won't have it in my stream. People saying Gears of War looks great. You didn't see anything. You saw a cutscene. You saw a cutscene by the great Blur, who make great cutscenes. However, here's some news. It was done with all in-engine assets. We know it's going to be a looker. It's Unreal 5. Listen to this. This is what bothers me, by the way, with some of these fucking guys who talk about diversity and all this shit being a problem. Everybody loves Gears, don't they? We're excited for the new Gears of War. I am. You know who the Gears franchise director is? Here's a hint. They got a vagina, right? It's a woman. In Behind the Closed Doors group interview, I interviewed Nicole Fawcett, the Gears. So stop with all this shit about woke, because you got a lady running the goddamn thing. She says, listen, man, here were the core elements that fans said they wanted, and that they delivered, they think. The brutality of Gears, the sadness, kind of melancholy vibe. I think people don't really know what the word melancholy means. I always misused it. It's not what I thought it was. It wouldn't be Gears if it wasn't over-the-top action spectacle. They say it's going to be linear, which is great. Thank God. Thank God. They're dealing with the invasion the first day the monsters came out of the holes. She says the trailer's built-in engine. That's kind of our target visual. It uses the game's textures, character models, and city. They're really big on the idea of this great city that's filled with destruction to represent the day the monsters come up out of the ground. She says, we make linear stories. This is the creative director now. We make linear stories for a reason. It's about taking an authored story and involving you with those characters and driving through it with gameplay. It will be linear. There are really cool opportunities in a city at Emergence Day. Gears plays great in a city. It's always been about fighting through these landscapes of a beautiful world that has collapsed. We're going to show you a beautiful world, and then we're going to tear it apart. Sounds pretty good to me. I'm excited for that. I want to give that a play. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm reading this chat here. Deteriorating environment somehow making a comeback, says Movie Maniac. Yeah, at least in the single player. It's harder to do that with multiplayer because your level design changes. Not everything though. So, all right, heads up, Call of Duty. Now we know it's coming to Game Pass. Hang on. Coming to Game Pass. If you are a Game Pass member, like I am, Gun asked me again in a second. Let me put that up on the stream. If you are a Game Pass member, you basically can get into the beta early. if you pre-order or you just basically sign up on Game Pass. So just letting you know, if you do want to play the game early, it says, where did it say how to do this? I don't know where it went. It was somewhere. I don't fucking know. Point is, though, check it out. If you here, I'll just go to Call of Duty for you. Anyway, before I go there, it says Black Ops is going to give you puzzle-solving, stealth, heist missions, big military incursions. But it's also the roller coaster ride. So it's linear. It's not going to be. It's going to be a normal length campaign. In other words, they're saying, don't worry if you didn't like this year's campaign. We're going back to what you guys love. So. Call of Duty 6. Let me just see this so we can all get in sync on this, because I'm excited for this game. It says pre-order. Check it out. So if you have Game Pass, Jesus, where the fuck did it go? Fuck, where is it? My God, how far is it? Jesus Christ, here it is. This is the one. Okay, so sorry, fellas. It's been a night. I got to get some sleep tonight. Game Pass subs. Black Ops 6 are available at launch to subscribers to select Game Pass plans. Ultimate PC console. Subscribers have access to the digital cross-gen bundle, including blah blah blah. And you can. I'm not gonna. Oh, here. God, now I gotta find it. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm losing my train of thought. Too much sugar today. Basically, really, Jaffe, settle. Just settle. I'm not going to search for it because it just kills the stream. The point is, check it out. You can get early access if you have Game Pass. Okay, shut up, Jaffe, you idiot. No, I don't want to. What did Jaffe think melancholy meant? I thought melancholy meant you were sad, but it was kind of almost a romanticized sadness. It was like, yeah, it was a little bit ennui, a little bit depression. My understanding, once I kind of dove a little deeper, I'm like, no, that's not what it is. It's real deep depression. And I never thought it was that. I thought it was a lighter version, but it's that. Who cares? Shut up. Okay. I want to talk about this briefly, and we're not going to watch the whole trailer. I'm an Indiana Jones nut. I've loved Indy forever. I'm excited for this game. Cannot wait. But all I do want to point out, though, again, this is not pissing your cornflakes. I'll be there day one. Pre-order if I can to get there earlier than day one. But if you watch the actual trailer, the gameplay they show, all I'm saying is imagine taking Indiana Jones out of what you're looking at on the screen and you're just some guy. The gameplay is just like, okay, it looks fine, right? I mean, is that just me, or does it just looks like, melee and first-person melee shooting in a whip? But that said, though, it's indie and it's machine games. So, I'm in. But I'm just saying that, I don't know, sometimes I wish we could I love this. Because does this mean you're going to get to play the original at the opening of Raiders Lost Ark? I think that's pretty fucking cool. But it is a little weird to me, and I'm glad it's first person actually, but it's a little weird to me though that, I don't know. I wish we were more media literate when it came to marketing. Like I wish people could look at it and appreciate it, but still we would have seen some people pushing back in the press regarding, okay, as cool as it looks because it's indie and it's machine games, we're all aware, right, that it's not really showing us anything all that interesting, is what I would say. Looks like the Star Wars game when the IP sells it, says Eddie T. Right. Well, here's what I'll tell you. When I was a young kid, you have to understand this. If you're an 80s kid, fuck, this is a hell of a year for you. Star Wars Arcade, right? This was the game that we had. I think it was probably the first time you ever got to play Star Wars as a video game, right? And then Raiders Lost Ark video game, 2600. This is what the Indiana Jones game was. So, forgive me if I'm a little bit excited. But for sure, though, Absolutely. Both of those games are driven. Nothing they've shown is as exciting as the IP it brings to it. That's for fucking sure. Like, how do you play an Indiana Jones game but you don't see Indy? I think that's fine, Kevin. I have absolutely no problem not seeing Indiana Jones. I know what he looks like. I want to feel like Indiana Jones, you know? Doom Dark Ages is what everybody should be talking about. I'm excited for that as well. But again, they didn't really show anything, but they didn't need to, because we know, you know, Doom Eternal is one of the best shooters ever made. So I'm not worried about it, but I don't think I'm not, other than that one weapon where you put a skull in the shotgun and it's like a wood chipper that sends out splinters of somebody's skull. I thought that was pretty good. But other than that, it just looks like a great, awesome shooter from a great, awesome developer that makes great, awesome shooters. So what's not to love? Speaking of machine games, thank you, L, for the super chat. Some devs are Starbreeze vets. I'm a huge Starbreeze fan. They're the guys who made, Butcher Bay. The fighting mechanics will be solid, guaranteed. Yeah, there's like I said, I am excited for the Indiana Jones game because A, it's Indiana Jones, and, you know, a license goes a long fucking way if you love the license. And Machine Games, which is also made up of members of Starbreeze, are just fantastic. They're fantastic when it comes to single player narrative based stuff. Although this was amazing. Flying a dragon. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening in this Doom game? And now you're like vomiting in a monster's mouth with fire. Come on. Yeah, it looks great. It looks fucking great. I'm totally in. But I'm with you, L, and I appreciate that super chat. Thank you, buddy. What do we got here? Perfect Dark. Like I said, Perfect Dark to me feels, I'm excited. Like I said, I think absolute worst case, now that you've got Crystal Dynamics on it, it's going to be a worst case, good enough, really solid, enjoyable spy adventure. And that's the worst case. Best case, it could be awesome. But I will say, nothing. And again, this is fine, by the way. It's AAA. It's okay. Not AAA isn't the place anymore where they can afford to take these crazy chances. But it would have been nice if we would have been wowed by some of the cool gadgets. This just kind of looks like any other, shooter in a cool future spy setting, which is great. But they didn't show anything that made you go, the only game that I saw any kind of potentially interesting mechanics at a semi-decent budget this week was Slitterhead. I thought Slitterhead, I'm not saying it's the most original thing ever, but doing horror the way they're doing it with the kind of changing abilities and bodies and things like that, I'm like, okay, that was fresh. But not, none of the AAA stuff, it looked great, it looked solid, and that's exactly what Xbox needs. But it would have been nice if they would have pushed a little bit. But maybe if you're Perfect Dark, it's like, guys, yeah, we can do that, but you know what? Or we can just fucking ship the fucking game, because this thing's been in development hell forever. So as much as you guys want to make art and make the next game of the year, how about we just make something that is really fun, looks great, can actually ship, and we can move on with our fucking lives. That's probably what happened. But I agree. Billy Bones says it lacks not Billy Bones. Wild Samurai says it lacks the soul of Perfect Dark. The Batman VR game I heard had a really good walkthrough. I haven't watched it yet. Why is Grum? Oh, Grums is... Listen, Grums, if you're watching, I know you've watched the show. You and I got no beef. I got no problem with you. But there's a point where it's just like, please. There's a point where it's like, sometimes your brand... This was cool, though. I was very curious what's happening in the story here. Sometimes your brand is better served by stepping off the stage. Just because you can push your brand with every story, the danger you run is that your brand becomes obnoxious. And I think he's gotten to that point with this stuff. It's like somebody said that to me the other day. Oh, Perfect Dark is woke. And I'm like, what's woke about it? They didn't show much of anything. And they're like, well, what about the square jaw on Joanna Dark? I'm like, okay, that's woke. Does I just can't with these fucking idiots anymore. It's like there were plenty of games this time around that had, and she's fine. She looks fine. There were plenty of games this time around that had, traditionally good-looking people. And then this is a person who looks more normal. She's not like a glamour shot lady. Who gives a shit? The fuck's the matter? It's a Chad Chin. Go get laid. I'm sorry. I hate that term. I hate saying that to people because it makes it sound like, it's all about that. But when your primary communication is always being critical of the way women look, always, even when there's no monster in the fucking closet, it's just a normal looking lady. Jesus, shut up. My God, go fuck somebody. Go stick your penis in some hole somewhere. I don't care where the hole is. But my goodness gracious, just get over yourselves. Leave people alone. Don't play the game, you fucking morons. If you are looking at this trailer and you like spies and you like sci-fi and you like shooters with hopefully cool gadgets. They don't show cool gadgets in this trailer. They just look kind of generic. And you are complaining after the hell that this fucking game has been through, development-wise, that her jaw is a problem? Go get somebody to let you put your penis in the hole. I don't care if you have to hire a handyman to come out and drill the hole in the wall. And he's like, what's this for? You going to run some wires through there? Nope, Mr. Handyman, I'm going to stick my cock in there. Whatever it takes. But you're bordering on ridiculous. You're bordering on comical. And it's pathetic. I do have concern about it having been in dev hell. Sure. But what I will tell you about that is now, that's what I'm saying. Crystal Dynamics came in. We're good. We know how to make games. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've never understood about Microsoft. A lot of people know how to do it. Go get those people. And they did, finally. So I'm excited. I love, like I said, here's what's the thing is, I don't need every game. And this is probably another reason I love Game Pass. I don't need every game to be Game of the Year. I like movies sometimes that are like what was it? There was a Gal Gadot movie, Gadot, whatever her name is, on Netflix where she was like this spy and there was this supercomputer AI that was going to take over and she had to do. It was just, it was totally not forgettable, but it was like a good fun B matinee. If this is on Game Pass and it's nothing more than a 7 out of 10, it's got some cool ideas, it's future spies, it's fun, awesome. What's the problem? Shut the fuck up. That's what you need to do. Okay, Red Note is what? No, was Red Note the one with The Rock, right? It's not the one with The Rock, right? Goat Gaming, is it true you wept when you saw Dom and the Gears trailer? No. But I will if you want me to. I did like they brought back Mad World. Hey, there's Stoner Joe. Stoner Joe, buddy, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. For the super chat, he says, Doctor Who spoilers, the Doctor's bisexual. Thoughts? The Doctor is the Doctor. The Doctor is awesome. I mean, the Doctor's outward appearance and some internal things that they may be into on any given regeneration is irrelevant. The Doctor is always the Doctor. But I like that. I like that you never know what you're going to get, but fundamentally it's still the Doctor is what I would say. L, thank you for the super chat again. He says, Perfect Dark was always about the guns. Does this look like one gun, many uses, upgradable? L, I don't know what it looks like in that regards, because even if this was one gun, lots of upgrades or lots of attachments, that wasn't on display in this trailer, unfortunately. Like there was no, all you ever saw the gadgets doing was like, oh, it sees through walls, or oh, you can target someone and get some information. But I want to see, I want to see her fire a a fucking sniper with a bullet that has somebody the size of Ant-Man in the bullet into the body of a bad guy, and then you play the guy in the body go into the heart to set an explosive to kill the dictator. I want to see gadgets and shit like that. I want to see weird quantum and chronological grenades and all that bullshit. That's what is missing from this. That doesn't mean it won't be in the game, but it does seem pretty benign when it comes to one of the best parts of the franchise, which is she's basically James Bond in the future with all of Q's gadgets and shit, is what I would say. JJ, I agree. Whoever came up with the skull gun deserves a raise from the new Doom. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. It's a good one, no doubt. No fucking doubt, my friend. All right, let me go down here. I'll bring in some chats in just 1 second. Some Heart of Stone Eternal is what it was called with Gal Gadot. That's right. That's absolutely right. The gadget duplicated the guard's voice, so she was allowed to get through a gate, says Pap. Okay. I mean, that's okay. Okay. I mean, that's fine, but it's still just a key. I mean, I want to play with shit and do cool stuff with all this stuff. But anyway. All right, let's somebody's asking Assassin's Creed. I thought Assassin's Creed looked great. I thought the overall Ubisoft presentation was great. But then, as we discussed earlier, once you spend some time reading about Star Wars, it sounds like it's not that great. But Assassin's Creed people who have actually seen it say it's pretty fucking good. So I'm pretty excited by it, actually. Here's how you get into the beta of Call of Duty. I knew I had it somewhere. Black Ops 6 is on Game Pass, and all Game Pass subs with an active sub will be able to play the open beta starting during its early access window. This applies to all tiers of Game Pass. So just keep an eye out so you can play it, because I'm looking forward to it. Let's see, what else are we talking about today? I am going to watch this. I may stream it tonight, or I might watch it on my own, but I'll let you know. I'll talk about it regardless in tomorrow's show. There is a deep dive about Avowed. The last deep dive, and there's also one on AC as well, but the last deep dive really sold me on this game that they did whenever it was. I don't know if it was Keeley's show or last summer. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I stay interested in this. And again, I will say to you that
sometimes even your companions who
I will say to you that if you're looking at this and going, this doesn't look good visually, no, I think most people would agree that compared to all the other games they showed, this is not a very strong visual contender. But again, if you listen to the team talk and if you look at the previous deep dive, and I hope we get it on this deep dive, you're going to see where their efforts have gone, which is into a lot more choice, a lot more player agency, which is what is excellent about their team. Right. Serv says they've never been about the graphics. That's right. That's right. Doug says Shadows will be another Assassin's Creed game. Their choice protagonist should gain brownie points from the journalists. It'll sell like gangbusters. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you actually watch the Assassin's Creed Shadows, it looks really fun. It looks really fun to be able to choose which protagonist for what mission. You can play the missions twice with totally different. The samurai is based on a real fucking samurai. The woman is Japanese. The fact that it's a black guy who's based on a real dude. I can't with these people anymore. I get it. Somebody hurt you, or not you, but somebody feels that they're not being represented, but they are. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just so tired of these people. Okay. L says, thank you, buddy. He says, deep down secretly, you were always trying to make Doom the action platformer when you made God of War. No, I appreciate that. But I mean, when I started working on God of War, there was a time that we considered first person. And it was a game on the Dreamcast that was Melee called, what was that called? It was a Melee-based Dreamcast game called had some Japanese sounding name. What the fuck? I don't remember what it was called. But maybe back then it would have been more like Doom, but no, I really wanted to make a game that felt like you were watching a great action adventure movie, frankly. Okay. Mach and X. That's it. That's exactly what it is. Mach and X is what it was called. Yeah, here we go. If you're asking what's on the screen, that's Avowed. And yeah, every day this week, Xbox is doing deep dives into one of their games. So Indie's going to be Friday. Avowed is today. I don't know what, I'll tell you what they are in just a second. But yeah, I was looking at this going, okay, could we do melee combat in first person? Because it might be cool to do like a game like that in first person. Xbox deep dive. Okay, so these guys are coming out this week with, I will tell you, Metal Gear. Oh, Metal Gear's tomorrow? Okay, sweet. Okay, Metal Gear's tomorrow. Where's the list? I saw the list earlier. Let me go to my Twitter account. It's probably on Twitter. Xbox? Okay, let's see. Okay, here's their schedule. I don't know if they're doing Doom, but let's find out. Boy, Dragon Age did not look good, though. That's the truth. It's a terrible trailer. Okay, Avowed. Tomorrow is Metal Gear. Wednesday is Mythology, Age of Mythology, and Era, which is also strategy. World of Warcraft is Thursday. Indie is Friday. So there you go. Okay. They show them at the end of the Avowed video. Okay, I got it. All right, so I'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. I want to show you some stuff now. P-Turtle is not trending on Twitter. Oh, we got a problem. Let me bring in Sleepy Campfire. Then I want to share some of the stuff I have been playing this week. But let's see what these conversations are going to give us. Sloppy Campfire. It's Jaffe. What's going on? You got to unmute your mic, though. Sloppy Campfire. Am I the only one that thinks Dragon Age looks terrible? I think the trailer was abysmally stupid. Yes. But I don't know if the game itself is terrible. All right, Sloppy, I'm going to leave you on for a moment. Come in if you want to, but you're on the show, but you just got to unmute yourself. In the meantime, there is not a demo of this week, but I'm excited for this. Airframe Ultra was shown at the PC Gaming Show, and it looks like the stepchild or the, I don't know, stepchild. It looks like the child of a Twisted Metal PS1 and Jet Moto PS1, although you can get off the bike. So it's hover bikes that are hover bike combat. I don't know if all it is combat, like arena combat, or if it's an adventure or a racing game, but I think it looks fucking cool, and I am excited for it. So keep an eye on this one if you're interested. Wishlisted Airframe Ultra. I did play the Metal Slug Tactics demo. Maybe I'll play it tonight. Dragon Age has a showcase tomorrow. Okay, cool. I'll give it a look. Sloppy Campfire, are you there? Are you there? But yeah, I can't imagine that. I mean, think about the disconnect on that trailer. If you didn't see it, it's just abysmal. It looks like it's trying to be like all hip and cool and punk rocky and shit. And I'm kind of like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? This is Dragon Age. And clearly we've seen some other behind the stuff on it, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that. So I'm excited for it, but that didn't do him any goddamn favors at all. I have fumes. I played a demo a while ago. I haven't played this new demo that's out. Hang on. Labyrinth of the Demon King apparently has a really good gameplay trailer. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. That's from 11 months ago. 4 days ago. Labyrinth of the Demon King original trailer. We'll watch a few seconds of it, then we'll move on. Is there a demo of this? Gross. This does look good. Oh, please tell me there's a demo of this fucking thing. I want to play this now. That's awesome. Oh my god, I love this trailer. This is a good trailer. Can I turn off the arachnophobia? Okay, when's it coming? 2025. There's no demo, but that looks great. That looks great. Yeah, people are people saying, "Oh, Jaffe likes the PS1 looking stuff." I like games, man. I love the games. What I love about this is I want you to think about this for a brief moment. This game probably made by 1 to 3 people for the most part. They probably didn't have to answer to anybody because of that. Okay, so does it look like beautiful next-gen graphics? Of course not. But I'll take interesting lore and world design and horror and new things that are a little scarier. Like, take Silent Hill. Silent Hill is horror. It looks pretty much like every other fucking horror game out there. Yeah, they spent a lot of money compared to this, but this looks a hell of a lot more interesting as it relates to things that are horror based. And I'm down. Messed up dark subjects on a shoestring budget, says Eternal. Yeah, that's horror. That's the shit. Not having to answer to anyone at 100% is not always a good thing, Jaffe. No, it's not. But more often than not, it is. Or at least not having to answer. Having a budget like this means that usually when that budget is approved, people are like, okay, I know what this is. I'll back off unless I'm genuinely interested or I'm part of the team. But that ain't this. This is great. This looks great. I'm very excited for it. L, thank you for the super chat, buddy. You are money bags today, and I appreciate it. Rebellion introduced me to Alien v Predator on the Jaguar. They made a nicer PC version, and then fast forward to Sniper Elite, and then we get Atomic Fall. Totally unexpected. Well, Rebellion, are they a developer or a publisher? I think they're a publisher, right? Because they've published a bunch of good stuff recently. Atomic Fall looks good, and I didn't have a problem, by the way, with the what was the game came out last year, first person Game Pass Day 1, set in Russia, and all that stuff. It wasn't, or Atom Fall. Atom Fall kind of feels like that. I hope it's not, even though I didn't hate it. I got my fill of it. Okay. Why doesn't Xbox start up their indie dev shit again? They still have it. And this might come to Game Pass. It may very well, but I think this looks really good. Arathizzle says you need to bounce ideas off people. Yeah, I agree. One thing look, we made, this has basically 2 people and a publisher as we have listed. So maybe there's 6 people. We made Twisted Metal within Sony and Single Track. There was probably 15 of us. And we bounced ideas off people. But we weren't spending so much money that, we had to consistently go hat in hand to the money people and say, here's some changes we want to make. And that's what I'm talking about. Atomic Heart is what I'm thinking of. That's right, Kevin. Okay. Okay. And then I want to show you guys something. I'll save this to the very end real quick. We're not, one moment. This was terrible. G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra, I was very excited about. This was junk. Because I thought this was going to be like the Ninja Turtles remake or Streets of Rage, It is so badly made. It is just junk. You can play this demo right now. I get that it's early, but it's so disappointing because it looked like this was going to be a really cool, if you like the G.I. Joe cartoon and toys, which I did, it looked like we were getting like a Ninja Turtles thing. And man, I'll tell you, why would this be released as a demo? I couldn't tell you. It was absolutely terrible demo. So beware. Death Sprint. I want to show you that trailer in a second. Here's all the stuff I've been playing. Flintlock is out today. It comes out, I think, in a month or a little bit after a month. It is a Souls game with some more interesting platform mechanics. It's not the most beautiful game in the world, but it's pretty fun. Metal Gear Slug Tag. I'll do a separate stream on the demos because if you're just here for news and talking, I'm just listing titles of games at this point. It doesn't do anything. But I've been playing a bunch of fucking demos. I do want to show you guys real quick, and then I'll bring in P Turtle or Sloppy, depending. I want to show you this. I want to show you Tiny Glade because the idea of making your own video games, it's staggering how not easy, it's never easy, but it's staggering how much easier it has become. And I just want to show you this because when I was first starting in 3D games, you'd say, oh, okay, I want to have a road here. And it was it wasn't impossible, but it was a big effort to go in and carve roads and put points in and all this shit. And I want to show you how easy this is. And this is not even a development tool, but it very well could be. And I'll show you when I show you this what I really want this to be, and hopefully we'll get it soon. L says Rebellion is a dev studio that also self-publishes. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm a fan of what they do. I think they've done some really good stuff as of late, and I appreciate that super chat. Wayne, thank you, sir. He says, looks like if Resident Evil was getting DP'd, I don't know what that is, by Silent Hill and Evil Within. That trailer we just showed, yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks really, really, really good. It doesn't make sense to make a beat 'em up out of an IP involving high-tech military vehicles and guns. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But that's not the game's problem. It's not that it's like, oh, it's a poorly merged mechanic with the IP. I mean, because you can be Snake Eyes in it with a sword, but you can also pick up guns and stuff like that. It's just poorly made, is what I would say. But look at this. I want to show you this real quick, and then I'll go to that'll be all my stories for the stream, and then we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and I'll bring in some chats or some callers. But I want to show you this. This is Tiny Glade, okay? Look at this fucking thing. That would be cool, a real-time strategy G.I. Joe game. I'd be down for that. All right, hang on. Tiny Glade. Now, this is not even a game. There's no game here. Okay. So, all it is, let me start a new one, by the way. You don't have any of the seasons in the demo except summer, and it's a very limited demo, okay? But this is how easy it is to construct in 3D now, right? So you're just like, oh, okay, I want to put a little path here. Automatically it makes a door. Oh, I'd like to have some greenery, oh, okay. Cool. Right? I mean, it's just insane. Then you're like, oh, I want to put some windows here. Right? And then, oh, maybe I'm not happy with how tall it is, so let's raise up. Right? I mean, this is absolutely batshit easy. And then you can be like, oh, I want to bring some walls in. I mean, where we're at now is just... So imagine being able to actually build this being the way you build your game levels, right? And there's a system called Houdini that kind of like it, but I don't think we're there yet. But when people talk about AI and new tools and stuff, this is what this is why sooner than later it's going to be so fucking not easy to make good games, but it's going to be easy. It already is to really express yourself interactively. And when I look at this, I just go, what I really want is I want Wizards of the Coast to get this. I want a dungeon master to have this playing D&D. And I want to be able to play a D&D live campaign online, and the dungeon master is literally either showing me pre-built shit or he's building it in real time as the adventure unfolds, but he's already got it planned. I mean, come on. How cool. How cool. And then, A says this is what level editor tools are like nowadays. You need tech artists, though. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but that's if you're working at PlayStation, but I don't think this is available to build a level in Unreal 5, is it? Don't you still have to have proprietary stuff? It's a demo right now and it's free. But yeah, I mean, I think it's insane. I think it's amazing. But what I was going to say is, and then, yeah, even though this game doesn't let you go into first person, I mean, you're in first person, but I mean, you can easily imagine, okay, now that you're done building it, you know, I want to go around now and walk around in it and have a D&D adventure. And it's like, oh, I want to put a monster encounter right here, and I want to put a pickup right here. I mean, absolutely nuts. Absolutely fucking nuts, man. I love it. This is called, even though there's no game and it is a very limited demo, just give it a look if you're into such shenanigans. It's good people. Where's this one? Gotta go up. Let me get rid of this. And you can erase parts of it you don't like. I mean, come on. Okay. Anyway, there you go. All right. Let me go to the chat and to you guys. So that's all my topics for today. If you're here just for the game news, I will be back tomorrow at 5:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. You know how it goes. I'll be back tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to the chat, talk about what you guys want to. Just get me out of here. Get me out of this fucking thing. Quit. Yes, go away. I've already wishlisted you, fuck. Okay. Let's see who wants to talk. Okay, well, Sloppy Campfire doesn't seem to be around. So, Sloppy, we're around, but, you know, if you want to jump in. Okay, let's bring in Hammer Pants. We haven't heard from him in a while. Hammer Pants, it's Jaffe. What's up?
Jaffe, my boy.
What's up?
Hey man, we gotta set the truth out there today.
Okay.
Women want to play as attractive and beautiful characters.
Some women do.
Also,
yeah. We had Gina on the show. What was it? Friday the other day, and she's an attractive woman and she's a gamer and she's like, yeah, I prefer to play women who are hotter than I am, and I like attractive people in games, is what she said. I don't think that's a mystery. I think you can have both, though. You can have that, but also have games that are not fantasies and they're more of a reflection of a more realistic scenario, right? Why not have both?
It's not that you can't have both. It's just like when you look at the Angela's face from that cemetery scene in Silent Hill 2, and they get that backlash. And the backlash was, oh my God, men, we don't want attractive characters. Women don't want these characters.
It's a horror game, though. You're not playing as Angela. She's a character that apparently you guys were telling me is a crackhead in the game. You know, it would be, I mean, did you guys go watch, you know, when you go, I mean, I'm just trying, there's so many movies where it's like the character is not there to be an attractive fantasy character. It's there to be
something weird about her face. Her face.
Yeah, then that's just bad. Okay, but that's just bad work.
She had that Aloy, like a chipmunk with a mouthful of nuts. Yeah,
maybe it's just a bad model then. Are we still getting an echo? There's no way we should be getting an echo now. Are you guys telling me there's still an echo? People in the chat are saying Maria's the one who's meant to be sexy. Right. So I hear you.
It's not that Angela was meant to be sexy or have that necessarily that appeal. It's just like there's something bizarre about her face, and that we're seeing
I totally
more
agree.
In gaming. We're seeing it more in gaming. It's like a weird androgynous.
But you're making the assumption that is coming from a place of some sort of political statement. And it may be, but it probably has more to do with just a bad character model. Right? I mean...
Well, there was Hit Detection, who is the consultancy firm working on it.
Well, they don't make models, do they?
No, but they have power or sway or opinions that these companies are hiring and they're going to listen to. And they're almost like a secondary police force. It's
well, hang on. What does Hit Detection do?
It's a adjacent Sweet Baby Inc. type firm.
Okay, so you're telling me that, again, they can have opinions all day long, but they're Team Bloober team is not beholden to them. But regardless, though.
Oh, Jesus.
What happened?
Oh, sorry, I just saw her face.
Yeah, I think you need to go find a real woman to spend some time with.
Yo, but I'm trying to push back against that narrative that...
It's not, but you're making the narrative up.
No.
There's no
people,
narrative.
There's people saying that it's only men who want attractive women in gaming.
You don't have to convince me. We had a woman on the other day who said exactly what you're saying.
See, you're not even progressive, Jaffe. I can't even debate this with you. I'm
very progressive. I'm so progressive that you can't debate me because I believe in freedom of expression. And I think it's great if you want to have super sexy ladies in games. And I think it's great if you want to tell a story that's more about reality and more about what people really look like. And I also think sometimes an ugly model is just an ugly model. And I think this is just a badly made model.
Do you think there's a narrative being pushed out there that it's only men who want attractive women in gaming and that we should make women less attractive in gaming?
I don't know, and I don't care. That's the truth, my friend. I really don't.
That's fair.
Because you know what, man? I mean, we are on the verge of just a collapsing Supreme Court. We have half the country doesn't care and embraces that we have a guy running for president who's too old to run. They're both too old to run. One's a fucking felon. I mean, it's like, I really don't care, frankly. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to you. It's nice to not.
No, I just thought you were gonna have that fire in you. I get it. I get it, man. It's
the fire's gone. The fire, the passion is gone. Hammer pants.
Man, they broke you, Jaffe.
They didn't break me. What it is I finally looked around and I realized that, I'm so tired of being angry. Aren't you tired of being angry?
I'm not actually not angry.
You're not actually not. I can't do that.
What
That's
I see,
a triple negative, I think.
I'm actually not angry. Maybe ?
Okay.
So like, if you think about it, like what I'm trying to understand is why the AAA gaming industry is suffering. So when you look at
who says it's suffering?
I think unanimously, like a lot of people have this sentiment. I think the general public is like.
Can you be specific about what does the suffering look like?
The suffering is the lack of innovation, the lack of creativity, the lack of ideas, the generic corporatized.
But doesn't that make? There's a real easy answer for that has nothing to do with progression or not, or progressiveness or not. It has everything. I mean, you've seen this play out with every other medium, right? Which is when the budgets get high on a movie, a TV show, a Broadway play, the ability to take risks goes down because people want to serve what they know people will already buy. And more importantly, it's not that these people don't have any good ideas. It's that whenever they try something new that works, sometimes it doesn't connect near as much as sort of an IP that they already know. And so I think the false narrative that's being pushed is that people aren't creative and they're out of ideas and they don't know what they're doing. And I think that has everything to do with the budgets going up, which is why in the indie space, you're always going to have, when things are easy to make, you're going to have a lot of people making the same shit. But the indie space is thriving with interesting creative ideas because it can afford to be that. But that's every medium. That's happened since the beginning.
So you don't view a lack of talent, a lack of skill inside the AAA gaming industry as being a reason the games are suffering.
No, the only the lack of, certainly not lack of skill. Lack of talent may only be a real thing because as these companies have fired more and more people recently, you're seeing a lot more of these people go off and start their own smaller studios, right? But I still think there's plenty of creativity and plenty of great. It's like movies. It's like they're out of ideas. They're not out of ideas. Every writer worth even a average writer has tons of stuff they want to say that's new and unique, but they're not going to get it to be said if they're going to have to spend $300 million for a Ryan Reynolds summer movie.
Well, if the budget's so big, why can't they hire a good writer? They should be able to afford any good writers.
It's not about, but at that point, you're making this assumption that if they just had the money to hire a good writer, everything would be great. But when
it would help a lot.
I know, but you can have the best fucking writer in the world, but if you've got 30 other people, because marketing's got to weigh in and PR's got to weigh in and the agent of the actor's got to weigh in and the studio executive's daughter wants to be a development girl, so she's got to, there's a million fucking reasons, people that are going to say things about things that have influence when the money is that much. So it's not.
So the writers are good, but they're getting their craft.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Every case is different. There are certainly bad writers out there, but the issue is not, gosh, we can't find good writers. The issue is that we have to dumb everything down so it plays in China and it plays in other places that don't speak English, and we have to dumb it down because, I was watching this movie the other night, American Fiction. And in the movie, the protagonist is this writer that writes just genuinely good quality fiction, but it's not selling. And he's a black dude, but he doesn't write black, basically is the concept, right? He writes just like an author that you wouldn't even think about his skin tone. And his agent basically turns him on to the fact that it's like they want black books. They want you to write like New Jack City, basically. And the minute he goes, and he's like, but my stuff is richer, it's deeper, it's more interesting. He's like, yeah, but most people don't want that. They want something they can read in the airport, or on the bathroom, like in movies. Most people don't want to sit and watch some Spike Jonze challenging magnum opus on depression as it relates to the creative process. They just want to say, I know that's Darth Vader, and he has a gun. Right, and that doesn't mean they're dumb. It just means that they use movies as they're not there as aficionados of the cinematic art form. They're there because they just want to get out of the heat and watch a movie in the theater or do something with their family that night.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like if you look at like people like Sam Maggs, who's somehow working.
I know who she is. She's a writer.
And an example of that talented writer who is being shackled by the PR firm.
I mean, I haven't read it. She does comic books and game stuff, right? She works with Insomniac.
Yeah. There's a pretty famous video of her like talking about GTA R word, and it was like a news meme that came out a while back that kind of brought her into the starlight.
So what's the problem?
She's very social justice warrior. And so when you're of the progressive mindset, you're an activist. And so you have to pursue your activism through your art because you view it as immoral if you don't.
Okay, I mean, maybe someone does. I'm a progressive guy, but I don't think that every time I speak, I have to, I didn't bring this topic up, right? I mean, I'm okay not talking about it, but I know people are interested in it to some extent. So I don't think just because you're progressive or conservative, it means you have to bring that to everything you do at a creative level, but I don't know, man. All I'm telling you.
That's fair, man. That's fair.
All I'm telling you is,
but
all I'm saying is I think people make more out of it than it is. And,
dude. Well, look at it this way, man. Thinking about this as a system.
No. Tell me what you think would be, tell me a video game that you feel doesn't have the level of progressiveness that you would be comfortable with. What's a game that really, the last one you saw?
the level of progressiveness
that you don't like. Did you see the Gears of War Emergence Day trailer, and do you feel that that's acceptable?
I think it's more of I think that game is a bait and switch. I think they're framing it.
Regardless, based on what you know,
okay,
is there any problem with that game?
No, there's not. But it's
so great.
It's more,
so you're good. You've been covered. You've got games for you, right? What about?
Not at all. No. That's not true, man. Because you have to think about the culture at Microsoft. You have to think about the people running that game. They outright hate and resent hypermasculinity. They do not understand what made Xbox 360 great.
I don't know if you're trolling and playing a character or not.
I'm not, dude.
Your name is Dr. Hammerpants, so I have to assume you're not that serious about any of this. But
I'm being dead ass. Like, what are these people?
Let's play. Let's play for the moment and assume you're being serious.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. You're out of your fucking mind if you're being serious. Nobody because there's so much content for you and for everyone. Just go find it. It's just like, are you really that upset that the woman on your screen right now is not attractive enough to you?
Yeah, but you're changing the subject because
I'm not. You're acting like this is some kind of thing that it is like a virus that's spreading through every piece of entertainment.
You're exactly right. It is a virus. It's like a cancer cell that's been spreading and just destroying art and creativity in the West.
What? Like what?
The mind. What do you mean? It's the ideological. Okay, the people's feelings towards AAA video games, people's feelings towards Gears. The reason people are so excited about that trailer is because it was like, holy shit, we're actually getting a glimpse of something like we used to love.
Okay, so ask yourself
which represents why it changed. You couldn't have that feeling if it didn't change so significantly.
Well, okay, so it was led by a woman, by the way. Let's be clear on that. The woman who runs.
Is she cis? Is she cis or trans?
I've never met her. Don't know.
Okay.
But the point is that you've got a game that you're saying the market wants X. They delivered what the market wants, and you're still complaining.
I'm not complaining, man. I'm being realistic about the situation and how that's just a little 20-second clip, and that you can't make an assumption about the tone of the game.
But
especially when Xbox sent a letter out about how to write female characters and how to write male characters and make sure are your male characters showing enough emotions.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what Phil Spencer wants to represent. I mean, what's wrong with a company going, hey, we would like our male characters to be a little more than just either angry or stoic all the time? That's a realistic reflection of maleness. Why does it have to be your take on Joe Rogan? I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is that you have to admit that that's going to be a different shift, and you're getting that from like a company-wide perspective. So it's not going to be just like the studio. It's coming down from the higher ups to send these kind of letters out. And not to mention that the progressive is an activist, and they have to put their activism in their gaming.
I think it's
part of their identity.
Here's what I think. I think you are part of the problem of this country.
Oh, Jaffe.
I do. And here's why. I'm going to tell you why. Because you seem, if you're not trolling, to lack the ability to step back and recognize that you are being played by people who play all of us in order to get their clicks and in order to get their eyeballs and their anger. You are denying valuable time in your life to play, watch, read, study, create the things that you care about because you have been convinced, and it has been financially beneficial for people to convince you and people like you that there is this culture war. No one is coming for your kids. No one is coming for your guns. No one is actually teaching your children how to be trans or gay any more than they're teaching your children how to be racist. Are there certain weird pockets that pop up in certain parts of the world and the country? Sure. And those are what get the news, and those are what get the eyeballs. And the sooner we as a society stop being so fucking dumb and susceptible to the fact that we're being manipulated for their greed, the sooner we can get back to not being such assholes to each other, is what I would say.
Well, I like the speech, and there's actually some valid points you're making.
Yeah.
But for the record, I want to say that if you were to go back to the members stream, I was the one who was saying about both culture sides of the culture war getting played, and exploring the ideas of how we're being played and manipulated by corporations and government. The issue I see, man, is like the progressive ideologue is likely a foot soldier acting out the will of some other force.
Maybe they are. So don't listen to them.
Okay, but you understand why do you think it'll stop at AAA gaming? You saw how they saw the story about Unreal Engine 5, and how they're dictating how they have to word coding and shit in their game, and not to use terms like black or like whitelist and master and slave to. I'm not a programmer, so I can't speak exactly about how these terms affect the program.
Okay, but so what?
But that is the tool, Jaffe.
Yeah, and
that is the tool.
But no.
They will come.
What I am
They will come
is,
for the tools. They will come for the tools.
No one's coming for anything. They're just saying.
Then why is it happening?
Because there is a term, whether you're talking about male input, female input when it comes to electronics, whether you're talking about master slave, when you're talking about mounting a hard drive or whatever, that people look at and go, you know what? Sometimes language, like a lot of people on the right say, changes and morphs as we learn better, know better, whatever. And hey, you know what? Maybe we don't want to be bringing up master and slave language, even though it's not meant to evoke slavery in the South. Maybe we should just change that. You know, who cares? Say something. You know, I mean,
what does that have to do with video games? And what is that? Why is that being implemented? Who's coming?
Because people make video games, and black people make video games, and maybe some black person somewhere at Epic said, you know what? By the way, Tim Sweeney, I don't like coming into work on Bring My Daughter to Work Day, and I got my kid hearing about, oh yeah, you know, master slave shit. Who knows? Who cares? What do you care?
Where did it come from? It came from progressive ideology.
Okay, fine. But a lot of things come from conservative ideology. That's the whole point of being in America. We vote. We're a republic / democracy republic. But you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you know, we get up the next day and continue to do the shit we want to do. Stop being so angry at everybody. Nobody's trying to change your goddamn life. You don't even fucking program. You're not even in a position to care about this issue.
The program is making like official statements like this, which means those kind of people are starting to get in there.
They're not.
Going to change. The progressive ideologue is an activist, man. You have to understand this. No, not people are just people, man. But the progressive is special. The progressive is created and molded to be an activist.
Okay, I'm a progressive. I was not molded to be anything.
You're not a progressive, dude. You know for a fact that almost nobody who identifies as a progressive.
Okay, well, guess what? You guys have the
conversations
weapon.
You'll have.
You guys have the weapon that will destroy the Death Star. If it really is this big bad boogeyman that you're talking about, guess what happened with Gears of War? As much as the progressive agenda that you seem to think is a real thing in the way you think it's real, pushed and got their evil cancer into these companies, guess what? End of the day, it's all about making the goddamn cockadoodie money. And guess what? End of the day, Gears now has Dom back, Marcus back, and it's a goddamn linear game. So you win.
Well, there was always guys in the Gears games since.
I know, but you win. Take the win.
That's not winning, man.
It's winning.
We don't know. That's not enough information. That's not enough information, and you know that.
Well, I mean, the game's not out yet, but clearly there weren't no
gameplay.
Women.
There's not even gameplay. We don't even know anything about it.
All right, Hammer Pants, I'm going to let you go to get another call on. I appreciate it. I love you to death, and I really do worry if you're not trolling. Please listen to me. I know a lot of progressives. I know a lot of conservatives. People just want to be happy. They want to be left alone. My kids and his trans friends just want to be left alone. The people who want to go to church and pray to Jesus, even though I think all that religion stuff is crazy, I don't want to get in their way. Go do what you got to do. Just leave me the fuck alone. 99% of the people just want to get through the day and have a good goddamn time. Well, it's not what they're telling you, man. We're not at war.
Dude, the level of social engineering in society right now through progressive
There has
ideology
always
and
been social engineering, and it is your
not about that.
job
It's different,
as a smart
though. This is
person to
different.
It's not different. It's the same.
Dude, the identity of trans was not even in the collective consciousness of society until like 10 years ago.
So
that was
what?
like some shit you accidentally clicked on a website.
It doesn't.
Now they're teaching it in school.
They're not teaching it in schools.
They're not teaching you about trans identity in school.
Give me an
sexualities.
example. What age do you think there is a class at a public school in America where if it's not some weird fringe case where the teacher gets fired, that a teacher sits down with anybody below the age of 15 is like, now let's talk about. Now she may say, oh, I'm a trans woman. She may make it clear who she is if they ask, but she's not teaching them. Today's how to become trans. Today's how to become LGBT. What are you talking about? It's not real. You are listening to propaganda in order to get people elected on the left and the right with these wedge issues. I'm sorry, but it's true. Because you can't point me to evidence to suggest otherwise. I'll wait. Point me to the evidence.
So this whole concept of transness and sexuality is being taught in school.
Show me where.
Have you seen the children's books, dude?
Show me where.
All right, man.
I'm sitting in front of Google right now. What do I type?
I will send you. I'll reply to whatever tweet you had.
Just tell me what to type in Google. What do I type in Google?
What do you want? Well, type something
proof
relevant.
What are you talking about? Tell me what you think is happening.
So here's what you have: you have a bunch of teachers who identify.
No. What do I type? Okay, I'll just type this.
I'll just go to Libs of TikTok and type in teachers. I will say
is trans ideology being taught in grammar school. Okay? Public. Let's see what comes up. All right, I'm looking. Is LGBT being taught in schools? Okay, so here is the ACLU. Now it says your school is required to teach LGBTQ plus inclusive theory and sexual health education, and there should never allow for bias in the classroom. But I'm looking at what that actually, hang on a second. No, see this, now if you go to the actual article and not the headline, what it's saying is you have the right to be your authentic self at school. You have a right to be addressed by your gender identity at school. It's not saying they're teaching it at school. Like, what does that even look like? Like, how do you teach it? I have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing trans son. I assure you, never once did he come home and say, Papa, we learned the alphabet today and also learned about the trans. It just doesn't happen.
Okay.
And I'm in California.
You have a trans son. Do you think if you grew up in the 1600s, you would have a trans son?
No, because they'd be dead. But there were trans. Do you think trans is a new thing?
It's just not that they would be dead. Do you think your son?
Sure, they would out of either by murder.
Do you think your son would have discovered the trans identity organically, and then like had this epiphany?
I couldn't tell you, but you know what? There have been trans people in history for a very long time, and more importantly, guess what? My son came to me. And he was in a great deal of pain, and now he's happier than he's ever been. And he's got a lot of friends, and I love the kid to death. I don't care about anything else. And nor should you. Do you even have children?
Listen, I'm not going to get into that personal stuff.
I don't want to know their names. Do you have spawn?
I don't want to answer that.
Why?
There's no point, but I can understand.
There's a total point. I want to know.
I understand as a father.
No. I want to know if you can even
feel that.
But Alexa,
that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I understand why you feel that.
Right, but you don't actually have children. I understand.
I don't have a trans son. No.
Yeah, but you don't have a child at all.
I know a lot of trans people, dude.
That's not my question.
What's that?
Do you have a child?
Don't answer that.
That's stupid. I get what you're saying. Like,
let's say I do.
You're wearing the cloak of now you're getting personal, and I don't want to answer that. And you think most people will acquiesce and understand and agree with you, but you're using it wrong because nothing in this. It's not you're giving up some kind of crazy identity information about yourself. Did you fuck a lady and get a spawn out of it or not? There's nothing. No one's going to dox you because we know that you got a baby.
Well, let me ask you this: why is it relevant?
It's relevant because I imagine that people that don't have kids that seem so passionate about this issue are probably passionate about something else, and they're using this as a smokescreen. Because anybody that actually has children should know, if they're a halfway decent parent, that the minute you have a child, you will jump through fire 5 times a day for that child to bring them hope and happiness and love and light.
And
Regardless.
you damn fucking right. You
Okay,
damn fucking right.
And so I don't. And if you are a parent, you know you don't need anybody else to tell you how to raise your child. You think I need to hear what Joe Rogan thinks about my trans son? You think I give a fuck about, you think he's here with me and he went to therapy with me and my ex with our trans son? And
I don't think he did.
Okay, so then you know what? Back the fuck off. This is America. We're supposed to be free. I don't need your help. And you don't need mine. I know you're not. I'm not being specific in that sense. I'm saying that people need to just be nice to people, man. Nobody's coming for your kids. Leave people alone. There's no big bad boogeyman agenda other than maybe Project 2025, but that's the Heritage Foundation and they're fucking nuts. But that said, short of that, just be nice to people. Can we fucking get back to being nice to people and stop? We are being played against each other, man. I'm tired of it. Maybe, I don't know how old you are. I'm 53. I grew up in the 80s where, yes, I happen to be white and straight and male, so I got a lot of privilege and benefits other people didn't. But I can tell you, it sure was nice not to be mad at people half the country all the time. Even though my parents didn't vote for Reagan and we liked Jimmy Carter and we were a bunch of fucking liberals living in the South, we still got along with most people no matter what they voted for. I'm just tired of it. And maybe you don't have the experience to know how good it can be to not be fucking angry all the time. But I'm just sick of it. You must be sick of this. Unless you just don't know any different.
The thing is, I'm not mad at the progressive ideologue. I think the progressive ideologue is a victim.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't feel like a victim. And I'm progressive, and I'll leave it at that. Hammer Pants, call back anytime.
But I just see them. They've been manipulated, man. They've been manipulated.
And your concern is noted and appreciated, and I will continue to ignore it. But I love you. I love you're part of our community, and thank you, bud.
Thanks, Jaffe. Appreciate you, bro.
Anytime. Oh, sorry, but I did not mean to hang up on you. Sakuru, Suksuri. Hee. What's up, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing okay today. Actually, It's a good day. It's a busy day. I have to work tomorrow and probably tonight too. But
yeah, I don't really care what your life story is. I just need to know what's going on. I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you. Hang on a second. Hey, baby. Where's the fly swatter? Oh, God, I don't even know. Why? I'll take care of it. Give me 5 minutes. I want to fill my water. I know. Can you do it in the bathroom? One of the bathrooms? Yeah. Okay, give me 10 minutes. I'll be done, and then I'll help 5 minutes. It'll be 5 to 10. I got to be honest with you. Okay, go.
Yeah, kids take priority. Don't worry about that.
Oh, no, so, I got it. All right, so what's going on?
I was planning to come here complain about the Xbox event, but then they actually did deliver a very, very good event. Like, there is nothing to complain about. Yeah. So, yeah, I was almost about not to call you, but then someone talked about the programmers and this language stuff, so I said, maybe I can jump in with that, like the blacklist.
Oh, talking about the Unreal Engine that says we have to change certain terms for...
Yes.
Okay, you're a programmer, what do you think?
So, it's okay, like, it's everywhere. In any company, any large company that you go, you will be hand down a list of terms that you should be avoiding, and these are the replacements for that. Like, instead of blacklist, you would use block list, like blocking something. And instead of dumbing down something, you would say making it simpler. Some of these things make a lot of sense. Like the master-slave thing is no longer actually true in terms of the software architecture. Because there is a primary. Oh, it's doing these things. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that, to me, that's the thing, is that I think if someone's really upset about that, you have to ask what they're really upset about, right? Because everything you're saying makes a lot of sense. It's like it's not that you need to go to jail because you use the term master slave, but is it so hard to imagine that not all black people, but let's say there are even white people, but let's take black people at this point. I imagine if you go to a company and master slave lingo is being used, it's probably, it's kind of like, look, I'm not a Jew, but I was raised Jewish. If somebody were to say, at our company anymore, we can't say, oh, Jew the price down, right? Jew the price down basically means haggle and negotiate. And it's associated. Yeah. And it's associated with Jews because Jews apparently are really good at money. Nobody told my dad, but apparently that's a thing, that Jews are really good with money, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, do I have a problem? Well, who do we have here? Hello.
Oh, this is the young one, but she can't hear you because.
Oh, she can hear me. Let me tell you something, kid. Look at that thing. I will come and get you. I am the Hulk.
Okay,
look at that kid. Oh, it goes. What's that?
Hello.
Hello. It goes so fast. Enjoy it, man. Hey. Hello, human child. Don't be shy. Where are you going, you knucklehead? Ah, well. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, of course you're back, because you got to be back, because everybody likes attention. What do I got here? All I got with me right now is the Hulk. Do you know who the Hulk is?
You know the Hulk?
Do you like the Hulk or Spider-Man or Miss Marvel more?
You don't like any of them?
I like the girl.
You like the girl?
Miss Marvel. That's the girl.
Girl?
Do you like Wonder? Okay. Do you like Wonder Woman or do you like eating pickles?
So she hasn't watched anything that mature yet.
Okay. What is your favorite cartoon? What is your favorite cartoon?
What is your favorite cartoon? Which one? Bluey? Yeah, of course.
Oh, the little dog?
Yeah, the blue dog.
Oh, it's a cute dog. That's excellent. All right, buddy. Well, it's good to talk to you. Your dad's a very smart guy. Do you know that? Ah, there she goes. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if I'm a black dude or a black woman, I would go, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. Or if dumbing down, right? I mean, you're a dad. If you raise a kid and let's say that kid has mental learning difficulties, and a lot of kids do, and people are using the R word, at work. I would love it if people might not say that, because maybe there are parents that it kind of feels like that's insulting. It's not that people are becoming too sensitive. It's not that people are being wimps. It's just, is it that hard to be a little nicer to people?
It's not like it's going. If it works, that you're going to change. And if people are becoming happier for it, even if I don't understand the reason, if someone says I'm disturbed by this thing, can use another word, I can say, why not?
Yeah.
Again, some of these things technically are more correct. Like instead of saying slave and master, you would say primary and replica, or some other things depending on the context. Because master-slave means the master dictates something to the slave, but nowadays the secondary replicas would ask upstream. Like it goes the other way around. Right,
I got you. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. Okay. Anything else? I'm gonna bring on some more people, but I appreciate you calling.
And again, Xbox did a really nice showcase.
They did a good job. Hopefully, the games will deliver.
I hope so. Like even if they deliver 50% of them, I'd be more than happy.
I'm with you. All right, buddy.
All right.
Call back anytime. We're always here for you. I appreciate it, man. See ya.
Thank you. Sure.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna let P. Turtle host the show for the next couple of seconds. I got to go get my kids something, and then I'll bring you other guys in. P. Turtle, are you there?
Oh my God, I'm fine. Oh man,
oh shut the fuck up! I'm gonna go take care of my kid. You talk to the nice people. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. All right?
Okay. By the way, I'm talking to the.
I'll be back in a minute. Just talk to.
I'm talking to the chat. I wanted to say that Sukru is a great dad. He had his daughter dressed in all pink, Minnie Mouse. She had a doll or a big stuffed animal. I mean, very traditional. That's the way to do it. I don't know where that guy lives. I don't know where that accent's from. How's V Turtle? I don't know. If V's watching, come on, baby. We can finally flirt without Jaffe watching us, because it was awkward when he was watching us. By the way, guys, since I have you to myself, you guys should all follow me on Twitter. I got banned today, but I think they're gonna restore my account back in 15 minutes. It was a 24-hour ban, and I don't know. Last I checked, I was arguing with a lot of crazy progressive weirdo liberals, and I mean, this thing went to about 100,000 views so far, and I mean, they're attacking me. Nobody's really helping. I could use some help to the 5 people in this chat that like me. I can use it. What's your at? It's P Turtle, but the L is an I. So P Turtle, it's one word, but the L is an I. And yeah, I'm getting lit up. Last I checked, but I don't know. I can't go on there now because it's a 24-hour ban. They said I said something mean to somebody and I broke some sort of rules. No, not a 1, Doug. It's the letter I. Yeah, P30 basically. Yeah, I did it because I didn't want to be found. But at this point, a whole bunch of people have found me and they're attacking me. So it's like, why not just allow everybody in? But yeah, I can't wait. I've been waiting all day to see if I can get back on there so I can finally respond to these crazy bastards. I know. I thought I'm not familiar with like social media very much. I only made a Twitter a few years ago just to get on Jaffe's show. He made we did like an exclusive P Turtle show once, and he told me to make a Twitter so I can contact him. So I made it. And then just recently, I'm like, you know what? Elon Musk bought Twitter. They're saying you can go crazy on there and say whatever you want to people. So I'm like, shit, that's perfect for me. So a few weeks ago, I started to go on there and I just started attacking like gamer girls. And I'm very interested if people know this person. There's this person on there. And I've believed for some time that this person is an industry plant. And I'm not joking when I say this. Something is up with this person. There's a person on Twitter and their name is Kate Bush's husband. And the guy has like 27,000 followers. But for some reason, everything he posts gets like millions of views. So one day he put up, what was it, 2 days ago? He put up a picture of him drinking something and just fucking around. I said, enjoy the soy or something. I can't remember. But that little, passing comment got like 18,000 views. And then all of a sudden, somebody found the video. Oh, what's up, Jaffe? Can I just finish the story real quick?
Oh, please.
So somebody, I don't know where this came from, but somebody clipped the conversation that I had with Jaffe and Colin. And they clipped the part of me calling Colin woke. And then next thing you know, I wake up and I'm getting attacked by thousands of people. And then I can't respond because I was banned. So I got like 15 minutes left until I'm unbanned. Go ahead, Jaffe. I'm sorry.
No, it sounds like it was a great story. You're on with Vitaphone. Vitaphone, what's up?
It was better than the last like 30 minutes of the show. I was falling asleep.
Hey, man, that's not my problem. All right, let's go. What's up, Vitaphone?
Can I say something real quick?
You're on the show. Talk to Vitaphone. What do you want to talk about?
I know. I didn't want to disrespect Vitaphone, but to Dr. Hammerpants.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, but I thought he schooled you, by the way, horribly. But I just wanted to tell him I understand his frustration. I could hear his frustration in that conversation about you just going in all these different directions, not directly answering him, assuming a lot of things. I've dealt with this for 5 years. And I heard by the end of that conversation, he sounded like he just had a 15-round fight. And I feel bad for him. And don't let that, ruin things for you. Come back to the show. Jaffe's not bad. He's probably just having a bad day. Go ahead, Jaffe. My bad.
Vitaphone, what's up, buddy?
I don't want to dogpile, and I don't want to get you to a place where you're feeling like you're just being slammed and beat on.
I don't feel like I'm being slammed. I just feel like I'm listening to some idiots, but not.
Oh my God, that guy Hammer Pants is way smarter. Than
I didn't say I didn't identify which idiots I'm talking about.
Well, I know it can't be me. I have 1,000 IQ.
I assure you don't. Vitaphone, what's going on? What do you want to talk about?
Tell that to Gene Park.
Gene Park, he does not have 1,000 IQ. I just did.
So I think that, I've pointed this out a number of times, and the last gentleman has tried to point this out as well, is that, I'm a lifelong liberal and progressive too, but I'm not woke, and I don't actually think that you are woke.
I can't work with that term, so let's just get rid of that term and just be specific about what you think I'm not.
Okay, so the far leftists, essentially the things that are being taught in college now don't actually align with what liberal. In fact, most leftists consider liberals. They actually consider you and I the enemy. Not.
Yeah, I get it. I get there's a different spectrum of, a lot of people that carry the flag for, I don't know what you want to call it, but they are kind of the left version of the alt-right, would prefer to shut down people who express things that they don't like. And I find that totally against not just big, but also little democratic. And I also find it very not liberal and very not progressive.
Do you think a lot of those people work in the industry?
I can tell you for
but
certain.
I think a lot of those people.
I just want to say, if the answer is yes, then Hammer Pants, it was on to something. Jaffe can stop playing stupid.
It's like your inability to link.
There we go. Here's the dumb argument. Go ahead.
Because let's work with that. Okay, the only way that your argument works, which is what Vitaphone is saying, and then you saying, are there people like that in the industry? And he says yes. The only way your argument works is if you can then draw a line between the film industry, which is what he's in, and all other industries and go, there is a higher percentage of that in that industry. But you haven't done that. You don't think it's in the gaming industry? I'm saying, is it in the bagel making industry? Is it in the truck driving industry?
Well, we're talking about entertainment.
I mean, so here's the thing, though. It's coming from college campuses, and it has been for about a decade now that it's reached a fever point where it's essentially a conveyor belt of a spectrum of, are you all the way far left, or are you?
There are colleges where I find that problematic. I think, and I've said this before, I think kids need to be exposed to bad ideas as well as good ideas so they can learn which ones are good and bad and which ones they like and which ones don't land for them. And I absolutely find that a problem, that kids at college are it's not every college, but there is, let's put it this way, there is ample evidence that there has been a shift in the way colleges teach their students, where there is much less evidence about some of these accusations about they're teaching trans ideology to 4-year-olds and shit like that. So yes, I would agree with you though, college-wise, you're supposed to go to college and get exposed to a bunch of fucking terrible ideas and good ideas. That's the whole point of it. And I think that's fallen apart, and I think that's terrible.
Yeah. And the thing is that's made its way into writer rooms across the board, whether you're talking about games or whether you're talking about movies, because the figureheads and the people that are speaking for these companies are echoing the same sentiments in an even slightly sanitized version. But people like Anita Sarkeesian and this elk, it's everywhere. It's everything. Sexism is everywhere. Homophobia, that stuff, it's not a cartoon to young people. It's not a cartoon.
Yeah, but it should be.
It's not even an exaggeration of the general beliefs and view outlook of young people today.
Hang on a sec. Clever Jedi, I would, but I always make it clear. I appreciate your comment. He says, can you just verbally bitch slap all these tools and get back to games already? I always
Clever
start
Jedi,
with let me fucking finish. Let me finish, please. I always make it clear that this is a games channel and it's always about games. But when we do get to my end of topics, we open up the door to kind of free chat, and inevitably it kind of goes this way, but I'll talk about whatever you guys want. So
I was going to talk about games anyway.
But if you're here just for games only, that I serve at your pleasure, but we've done that for the last 2 hours. and I'm kind of out of topics, but I'll talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. But Vitaphone wants to talk about this, and he's on the phone right now. So
after Vitaphone's done, I wanted to talk about the game, the show on Saturday.
Okay, but Vitaphone, yeah, I mean, look, I am progressive. I want people to leave each other alone, and I want people to let their fucking freak flags fly. And I don't need your God, I don't need your Christianity, just like you don't need my fucking shit. But let's still enjoy being alive together. In this very rare case, we got to be alive. But what I will tell you is that I agree with you that it bothers me that college kids are not being taught as much as we were taught to be more critical thinkers and to push back on certain things. And again, there is racism. There is systemic racism. There is misogyny, and that stuff deserves to be challenged and called out and examined. But I don't think it's as everywhere intentionally, at least. There's stuff that we don't even know that's under the floorboards. But in terms of, the kind of stuff some of these people talk about, I don't think it's everywhere as much as, just like I don't think the stuff that people on the right are saying is everywhere. I think it's all wedge issues that get you to vote, spend money, and we are being played, and it's embarrassing how well the 1% is playing us all right now. They don't care.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's like as old as like the art of war, it goes back to, have your enemies, make division from your enemies and have them fight each other.
Right. And they won't even, and then they will forget about you. They won't even know who the real enemy is.
Yeah. Well, we're focused on all these boogeymen that, have ghosts of a past that is truly reprehensible, but most of it's from the past, and we're all essentially attacking each other rather than
it's so dumb. We need somebody who can express that beautifully and just wake people up, because we are spending.
I'm that guy.
Trust me, pal. You're not that guy.
Attacking people randomly on Twitter doesn't say you're the guy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a real shame because
random.
I think if we look back, it's going to just be like, wow, how much time was wasted with this shit? How much of our precious life force was wasted on shit that wasn't even real? You may as well have convinced people that Michael Myers is real, and we should be worried about Michael Myers.
Can I ask Vitaphone a question?
Sure.
Vitaphone, who was that guy behind you?
There's nobody behind him. What are you talking about?
There was a guy that walked behind him.
No, there wasn't. Shut up.
There was. This is my roommate.
I didn't see anybody.
Oh, okay. He's not your husband, right?
No, but
all right, cool. Then we're still friends.
There's anything wrong with that?
Oh, shut up, Peter.
Oh, yeah,
you fucking idiot. God, you're an idiot. I mean, here's the deal, Peter. I think, seriously, you are so sexless that I think
I wasn't last week when I pulled your girl.
I think if you could find somebody to fuck you at this point in your life, I mean, if it was a fucking like a goddamn armadillo, you'd probably fucking say, let's do it.
I think that helps you sleep at night, that people can have my opinions. You need us to be losers. You can't have a winner have my opinion. That's what helps you sleep at night.
Your opinion can't be associated with the brain of a winner.
Okay.
What is it? Is it that he's a P word, or is it that he doesn't have sex? Which?
Oh, I think he is both. I think he thinks about when he's fucking the armadillo, he's thinking about the P stuff. That's the problem.
It's
by
legal
the way,
in New York City to have a 17-year-old girlfriend. Just want to make that
Stoner Joe, thank you, buddy. He says Bowser was at the end of each castle. He's as good or better than Mario at getting through the stages. You know what, Stoner Joe? That's the smartest thing I've heard all night. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for being part of our community. Okay, anything else, Mr. Vitaphone? Always good to hear from you.
No, just kind of wish that what we were up against was just, or what we're not really up against anything, but the things that are changing in the world, I wish they were just delusions. But the thing is that we're having these very conversations about these things that are material.
What do you think? What do you think is changing that you wish was a delusion?
Well,
name one thing.
I mean, the very fact that we're having this conversation kicked off about the designs, the models of female characters, which for decades we had no problem even with lower polygon characters making obviously attractive women, to women that are less than conventionally attractive at this point, the fact that we are having this conversation and that people are, riled up about it.
I think that makes them shameful. I think I would be embarrassed. I think I would be embarrassed to open my mouth and publicly express that the girls in video games are not sexy enough for me. I think I would hide in shame.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening.
But I think what that means, though, is that those people that express those things, maybe the bigger problem is, what is the matter with you, sir?
But can I say something that's hypocritical here?
Why are people?
Jaffe's also the guy that plays video games and always picks the female character because she's hot.
I do.
So then how do you square that, my friend?
Because
like it, do you? You like it?
Vitafone, let me ask you, when you've got somebody like P. Turtle with his intelligence level, how do you communicate? Because
racist.
You're not any race, you told us.
I'm black right now.
Oh, right now you're black. I see it.
You're coming at my IQ.
When it's okay. Well, here's the point. What I don't understand though is I don't even know what we're talking about at this point. But
we're talking about the fact that
beautiful. Do you not think that's a hypocrisy though? That he says, "Who cares if guys vocalize that?"
Right.
Keep that quiet. But yet he always picks hot female characters. He picks them because they're hot.
No, because this is what the problem is that you guys, or let's just say you, P. Turtle, maybe Vitafone doesn't feel this way. You guys feel that what people in my corner, which doesn't exist, are saying is that I want everything Anita Sarkeesian is asking for served up carte blanche, free of charge to the woman. And I want that. And I'm saying she makes some good points. Let's address those where we can. And let's also appreciate and address the fact that people like looking at real and fictional good-looking people in certain kinds of entertainment. Let's address that as well. Let's enjoy the fact that we're sexual beings and that we enjoy hot people, whatever you're into. And let's also enjoy the fact that that's not all we are, and that's not all of our stories are, and that's not all of our games and movies and music need to be. Why is this a hard thing?
Because one side is being overly represented while the other side isn't. For the past 5-6 years.
Okay, but why is it hard for you to understand that the only power you have when it comes to entertainment is purchase power?
I understand that, but why can't I also complain?
You can, but you don't
deal with it.
But what you don't get to do is complain as if you're offering up any kind of solution or revelatory statement. You can
the solution. The solution is not to buy it.
And by the way, if you look at something like Gears of War, it may very well be that there are a number of people that have said, you know what? Maybe we have gone too far.
It's so funny that trailer has you convinced that that's what that game's going to be. I'm willing to put
There's
money
nothing
on
else
Let's
in it. I don't want to. No. Now you are taking and changing the subject. I don't know what the game will be, but assuming what they showed is reflective, just like what they showed with Stellar Blade is reflective of the product, then that's what we're talking about. The minute the game comes out, if it's a bait and switch.
Right.
Yep.
But guys like me and Hammer Pants know by now not to trust that. And we're almost 90% sure. Yes, we're not 100% sure. Mm-hmm. But we're about 90% sure that what's in that trailer will not be the game.
What about the women and the men? What about the women?
And let me tell you this. I got I got a transcript that I pulled up from the director of that game. She is a feminist. She is super woke.
I'm a feminist too.
Okay.
So what?
Okay. And you weren't when you made good games though. And
I would not change a thing about the games I made.
Yes, you did. You're a goddamn liar if you're going to tell me that you were a feminist when you were making God of War.
I absolutely
You're a liar if you say that. Beautiful. Do you believe that?
Oh, no. Pete Turtle thinks I'm a liar. I don't give a fuck what you think, you moron. Good
okay,
Lord.
You think I'm a sexless incel, and I'm totally not.
No,
okay. Oh, look at that. I love reversing things on you. You can't even take your own... Go ahead.
You're not reversing it on me. I'm just kind of like, you won't even show up on camera. This is how much of a
What does
lie.
that
Your
serve?
character,
What does it serve me coming on camera?
it serves a sense that what you say is authentic and genuine. We get
well,
a sense that you're a real person.
Listen. I just got attacked by hundreds of thousands of crazy liberal weirdos today, and I don't
You
even
did
have a
not
face.
get attacked.
Imagine if I have a face. Imagine if I have a face. Do you know what they would do to my life?
Pete Turtle, but I got to say one thing.
Yeah.
In Jaffe's defense, his point is that if you believe that things are going the wrong way, and you believe that you have problems with culture, you can't hide behind anonymity and hope to make a difference.
Why not? That's what Batman does.
Yeah, but this is the real world, and we
Okay, Pete Turtle, I'm going to let you go.
No.
I got to move on to other callers, man. Okay, Vitaphone, I appreciate it. Hang on. Vitaphone, thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, man. Pete Turtle, you got 5 minutes. Go. Then I got to bring in some new people.
Unbelievable, but whatever. Let me
go ahead, Bruce Wayne. What do you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk. Okay, so they showed off 30 games at the showcase. It was about 30
which one are we talking about? Xbox?
Yeah.
30. I don't know, but a lot. What's the point?
I see a lot of people talking about that showcase being great.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was great.
I think that is ridiculous. I think it's disingenuous. Or it's because people have just been so underserved in the gaming industry lately that they're willing to accept this slop as something good. But Doom looked okay. But I want to say of the 30 games, about 28 of them were starring females. What the hell is that about? 30 games, and damn near every game, there was a female protagonist. How?
All right, well, let's find out together, shall we? I'll tell you what was
Check out Dragon Age.
Shut up and be quiet. I'm helping you. I'm giving you information. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. You had a guy who was basically Robert Redford as the lead, so I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
Do we know he's the lead?
I mean, it's a first. I don't fucking know.
Because there was a female in that trailer too.
Okay, maybe it's. I don't know, but there was nothing in that trailer that was indicated anything.
Listen, the latest Call of Duty's allowing.
No. Can we just go with these?
To kill people.
Can we just go with these? Right. So these are the ones you're talking about, right? So here's the list. It's up on the screen if you want to see it. Hang on. I don't know why you want to play games and all you do is look at dudes all the time. Nothing wrong with that, but just own that shit. Anyway, point is Call of Duty. Call of Duty Black Ops, we'll assume, doesn't meet the problem criteria you're bringing up. Flight Sim probably doesn't, but you never know, Pete Turtle.
The trailer showed a black female pilot. I would never get on a plane with a black female pilot. Let's assume
I'm indulging taking you seriously for this conversation. Yeah. So let's assume,
in the trailer,
let's assume Flight Simulator is not woke. Okay, Okay, then we're done having the conversation then.
All right, go ahead. Go to the next one.
Okay. Fable, yes. You have a woman protagonist.
State of Decay. They didn't change her look, by the way?
Okay, so you're basically 1 for 3. State of Decay, you make your own character, if I recall, correct?
But the whole trailer was a black female.
No, it wasn't. There was like 4 different people.
She was the main character of that trailer.
Okay, but we're talking about the game. Are you talking about trailers or games?
I'm talking about what they were trying to sell to people in the trailers.
Okay, fine. So let's assume State of Decay, even though you can make your own character and there was a group of people being shown, you think it's a lady trailer. Okay, fine. Fable's a lady trailer. That's 2 out of 2. Indiana Jones, clearly it's about Indiana Jones' names in the title.
A majority of that trailer was a woman, and she saved Indy in that trailer.
And he saved her. Have you ever watched an Indiana Jones movie? Do you want Marion Ravenwood,
did he
Willie
save her
Scott?
in that trailer?
I don't remember, but I assure you he will.
He did not save her in that trailer. I watched it 3 times.
Oh my God.
And the gameplay looked horrific, by the way. Oh
okay,
my
fine.
God.
So let's assume the game called Indiana Jones, that is literally called Indiana Jones, and we have nothing but history of movies and books and comics where him and a woman go on an adventure together. Sure,
the woman's name is Gina, by the way. Her name is Gina. How do I know? Because she was basically the main character of that trailer.
Here's how I know most of you guys who are talking about Gina don't ever see real women. Gina
I'm talking
is
about the character in the game.
No, but you're bringing it up because her name was Gina, and you know you're bringing it up because
What?
that.
No, the female character name's Gina.
Arathizzle says Indy always has strong females. It's true. Okay, World of Warcraft. I don't know what to tell you. You want to call World of Warcraft? Okay,
Yeah,
mixtape.
That one's for everybody.
Mixtape. I'm an
Mixtape,
80s kid.
come on, bro.
I'm fine with that. I loved it. It was.
I'm sure you're fine with that. But
super 80s, excellent, good stuff. Okay.
not only was that a female lead in that game, I believe she was also lesbian.
Great. I don't care. You get there's one
great.
for. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3. Let's say 4. Okay, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. I don't even remember that. Was it
Female character?
Was she hot though? I think she was.
She was Asian. I'm not into Asians.
Okay, but that's not our problem. That's not Anita Sarkeesian didn't show up and say that, right? I like Asian women, so that one doesn't get to go on the list. Gears of War, what they showed, very male centric. Dragon Age Veilguard, horrible trailer. I don't know
come on, man.
They were men and women in that. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't. There was no trailer.
Not real men, and it was like.
Okay, I'm not giving you.
Do you think?
I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to give you that one because that one was a terrible trailer that had 5 different characters. There were men, there were women, there was a fucking monster. I'm sorry, you don't get to play in that part. Perfect Dark, obviously, woman. Elder Scrolls, you roll your own. I don't remember Adamfall. What was Adamfall?
I don't remember. I think that was the first-person game where they were walking around.
I don't remember Fragpunk.
Thing.
Flintlock has a black woman.
Was that was a woke game where it had the black guy with pink dreads. He looked like he might have been gay.
Oh my god. South of Midnight, black woman. Does that bother you? Bother you? Why?
It does. Yeah.
Why does it bother you? There's a
because
black
again,
woman.
I don't know if you've noticed so far from what we've been talking about. We've already discussed about 3 females or about 4 within the games we've discussed. We only discussed like 6 games. Were showing off black females in the trailer. That's who it's as if they're trying to sell these games to black women when that's not the demographic.
Here's what I would tell you. And this is the last thing I'll say. I got to let you go.
Okay, I know you don't want to go through the whole list because you got school, but go ahead.
No, because I'm reading the chat and they're just like, okay, we have to go through all these. I'm like, yeah, okay, no.
Okay, all right, I'll let you.
But what I'll say to you though is that let's just assume for Samian says, "Where's my Big Mama's house?" The game. You're not getting Big Mama's house until I get my Tyler Perry Medea game. So fuck you.
They're coming. Don't worry.
I'll play that. But anyway, listen. Let's assume for the moment though you're absolutely right, and let's assume that this list tilts unbalanced towards black female protagonists. Okay, do you think historically since the birth of this country, do you think black female women have had it easier than black men or white men because of just their gender and their skin color?
Have they had it easier? No, I don't think so.
Okay, so then you know what? I can live with a little bit.
But I don't think it has anything to do with their skin color. I just want to make that clear.
So maybe it has to do just with gender. Fine. I can live with a little bit. I don't think it has to do with that either. Well, what does it have to do with, P Turtle?
The fathers not being in the homes, and it's a lot of it has to do with government subsidies that incentivize that. It incentivizes black men not being in the house as black mothers. So,
okay, but regardless of why, they that
has nothing to do with video games.
But what I'm saying though is this idea.
So we're gonna make Gears of War woke to make black single mothers happy. What is this conversation?
The conversation is me going. Even if your worst nightmare turns out to be true, and all of entertainment for the next 50 years is filled with nothing but woke stuff that you hate, there has been so much injustice and pain delivered upon a number of people in this country since its founding that I'm okay as a straight white male going, yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not totally fair. I
don't have white guilt.
I don't have white guilt either. It's not. That's the thing.
Yes, you do.
I have no guilt around being a white person. I don't feel I enabled slavery. I have benefited from systemic racism, but I do not have guilt about being a white guy. But what I will tell you is, maybe that's what needs to be done to correct. Okay. I can live with my games not being exactly representative of my life and my wants, if it means maybe that we do a little bit of work to balance the scales of the last 220 years.
Fair enough. Can I just say 2 quick things? It's not long. 10 seconds.
Go.
I ask your audience to please look into these transcripts that I want to send Jaffe. I might even post it on my Twitter.
Just put it on Discord. Put it on the Discord.
I'll put it in Discord of who's directing the latest Gears of War and what kind of person she is, because that will disprove everything Jaffe
Well,
said
again,
today.
she's not the director. Just so we're all clear, she's not the director. She is the franchise, the head of the franchise.
Yeah, like Bonnie Ross, who she's talking about in the.
Okay, keep going. Next thing.
Jaffe, if you saw me being attacked on Twitter, why didn't you come to my aid?
Because I didn't agree with you.
About what?
I didn't see you being attacked on Twitter. I saw the guy post the conversation where you called Colin woke and he laughed at you.
And then hundreds of thousands of comments calling me names.
Hundreds of thousands?
Well, it got over 100,000 views.
Be well, P Turtle. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Oh my God. All right, listen. I got to get some wonderful, generous fundages coming this way. We got where did it go? Hang on, fellas. L, thank you, buddy. L says Konami has a specific style for models. Look at Metal Gear Delta. The female model they used is what Silent Hill 2 remake is supposed to look like, signature look. Well, again, I mean, the developers of Delta are different than the developers of Silent Hill 2. So it's not like they give everybody their models, I don't think. I imagine they're rolling their own at Bloober Team, but are you saying, L, that that because the model in the Bloober Team game is different than the female in Delta, that's why that's indication that it was intentionally made unattractive, is what you mean? I'm not entirely sure I get it, but I do appreciate the comment. Listen to this, fellas. JSD steps up. He says, Jaffe, listen. I just fucked my wife. I gave the dog a bath. And I got a raise today. I am alpha. I am flying. And I want to help you out, pal. Here's 5 goddamn memberships to the goddamn David Jaffe Show. Thank you, sir. Very generous, very kind, very courteous. Everybody who got one, please thank JSD. I appreciate that. You're very generous, buddy, and we love having you here. Thank you. Not just because you're generous, but we like having you part of our community, but you're also a very generous fella. And you dress snazzy, too. Thanks, bud. Stoner Joe. We already did that one. Stoner Joe says, things are getting heated. You goddamn right. Jaffe says, JS, did you see Schreier tweet about diversity in the industry? I did see that. If you don't know what he's talking about, he basically said that, people are being laid off. The budgets are exploding. There's all these problems in games. But the gist of it was, he's like, but yeah, sure. The big problem is diversity. He was taking the piss. And obviously some people who think that is a big problem, I'm not one of them, obviously came after the guy. But I did see it, JSD. Thank you for that, buddy. All right, let's bring in, I'm going to try to bring in Sloppy, but we tried to bring him in before. And then I'll bring in Durantix. Sloppy, I'm going to give you another shot. Are you there, buddy? You got to unmute your microphone if you can. Can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. All right, well, I can't help you, bud. Sorry. Let me know. Oh, are you there? Sloppy? Sloppy. Come on, baby. All right. Let's bring in Durantix. Durantix is Jaffe. Hey, look at that. Look at that goddamn avatar. Drawn to death, baby. What's up?
Are you able to hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay, cool. Second time, long time. Okay, I got a question about God of War because it ties into some religious stuff.
Okay.
The God of War, the one that you made, Athens, the rope swinging section. There's a tower section that this is a tower model that's just the background. At the top of it, there's a picture or a model of a crucifixion, which implies the crucifixion of Jesus. Was that on purpose? Do you know? Do you remember that?
I'm going to look it up right now. You're saying this is the Athens section?
Athens towards the beginning.
This is God of War, the one I directed, 2005? Yeah.
But on the way to find the Oracle,
All right, here we go. Let me bring it up on the screen real quick because I'm not familiar with that, but it's been a long time. Hang on. Let me put it on the screen. All right, there's Kratos. So yeah, he goes up on top of the rooftops. Let's get him up there. I think, is this the section you're talking about where he's like climbing the...
No. The rope swinging section. There's 2 ropes.
With the fire in the background or something? The road to Athens?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We'll find it. We'll get there. Is it...
Sounds right.
No, this is where he goes to the... goes into the temple. The woman's like, "You're the ghost of Sparta, blah, blah, blah." It's not here. Here's full walkthrough. Let's just do it here. Sorry, if you're watching the stream, you're like, "Jesus, Jaffe, what are you doing?" Okay, there's the grave digger. Now that's the oracle's. Okay, so it's before this. It's before the oracle. He visits the oracle. Here it is. Is this it right here?
Okay, no, not that one. I want to say
right here. Look, are you looking now?
Not that rope section. I didn't.
Okay.
It's the longer ropes, like super long ropes.
Is it before or after?
For this section, I want to say after you get the cutscene where Ares is in the background and Kratos says,
"Okay,
kill you."
Right here.
Okay, so after that, but not going the other way.
Yep.
Sorry,
That's all right. We'll get there. I'm jumping ahead by 5-second increments, so it'll appear. Okay, Medusa's. Where the fuck? Oh, I know where you're talking about. I think there's like a big chasm in the ground coming up.
Yes.
Okay. There. Is this it? Coming up right here? No, I think we missed it. Is that it? No.
It's around there, yes. I remember the chasm part.
Oh, he just fell in it. Okay, here it is. This has got to be it, right? Right here?
The second rope.
Okay, he's on the second rope now.
There's a way to swing really high and be able to spot like a crucifixion model somewhere in this section. And it's been a long time.
Is it on YouTube somewhere where I could search for that?
The YouTuber Captain Cuba made a theory that Christianity could be in like forecasted in future games because of that. So Captain Cuba.
Cutscenes. Did he make a? Oh, here it is. Crucified Jesus and God of War. Okay, let's see.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got it. Let's see. Come on now. Okay, so this is God of War 1 or 2? This is 1, I think. And he's talking about up top there, right? If this is 1 or 2, assuming this is 1, okay, there it is. Assuming this is 1, I couldn't tell you what it is. I certainly never had any thoughts about it, or because we knew that the narrative would eventually involve Jesus, but it wasn't. There was no reason to sort of introduce that. This looks like 2, though. At least that one does. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay,
yeah.
So I get into religion and mythology.
You get into religion and what?
religion and mythology.
Yeah.
And in the doing some research about the Abrahamic faith, the God that they worship, God the Father, would be his real name would be Yahweh.
Yahweh, yeah.
His origin stems from the Canaanite pantheon, and his name is called Yahweh in that pantheon first. I did not know this, is a war god. I wonder if Corey is taking the game series using Tyr, using the Athena and the wisdom god from Egypt. Thoth, I don't know how to pronounce it. Taking the game in this direction, using the war god.
I mean, anything's possible, but to be fair, Corey wouldn't have had that. I mean, Corey wasn't going around on God of War 1 talking to people about what the reliefs on the backgrounds were. He wasn't the art director. He was lead animator. So I'm not saying he couldn't have done that, but that's a pretty big stretch. I can't imagine why he would do that, because I don't even think he was 100% in on where I wanted to take 3. But I mean, it's possible, but no, I have no evidence of that. And I don't know why it would be Jesus there. I mean, right? We put the 3 wise men in there, of course, but that ties into where we were going. But yeah, just being Jesus, who knows? But no, it was not, as far as I know, it wasn't intentional. I didn't even know it was there until this call. But so maybe ask Corey or ask Stig or one of the guys. Stig and Ken Feldman would be the right guys to ask, because Stig was one of the art directors and Ken Feldman was the lead artist, or I forget the official titles. But they would have gone through every single texture in that game and approved it or had something to do with it.
Okay, cool.
Cool, man.
Okay.
All right, thanks for the call.
Have a good one. Thank you.
You too, sir. All right, fellas, we did it. 3 hours gabbing in games. It's fun. Hope you guys had a good time. Again, don't be upset. Like I said, I always am going to let you know, the first part of the show is always about the games. The majority of this show is always about the games. But once we get into the free chat, I can't, I just want people to call in whatever they want to talk about. So, fuck you, Bukagi. All right, what is it here in San Diego? Is it 9 o'clock? It's late. 8:45 here in San Diego. Okay. All right, so I'm off. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Gabbing and Games at about 5:15. 5 to 5:30 is when we start. I'm trying to hit it at 5. The fact that I'm there every day is an improvement for me, but I'll do my best to get there at 5. But again, I probably will be up tonight playing a bunch of demos, so I might be up too late. But maybe I'll stream them, maybe I won't, the demos. But in the meantime, you guys, happy E3 2.0. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good cavalcade of content coming our way over the last couple days. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'm glad to get back to a normal schedule, though. Be safe. Thanks for the calls. Thank you for the very generous super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, JSD. You guys are the knees bees. I know it's the knees bees, knees. I don't give a fuck. You're nice people. You're good people. I don't care what you look like. All right. See you guys soon. Bye, everybody. Okay.